Hello there ladies and gentlemen, Alexander Hilly123 here, and it's time for a new video. And as you can see from the title, as you can see from the video in front of you, today it's time for my Evil Within AKUMU difficulty commentary walkthrough, following in the exact same vein as my recent Dead Space Impossible difficulty walkthrough. It's a 2-video long play, so what that means, needless to say, is I'm splitting the game into 2 very long videos, helped of course with the new doubled upload speed that my ISP Virgin Media provided me. I know we've got 20 meg instead of 10. I'm using that to good effect. So I did a AKUMU I should say, walkthrough for this game back in December 2015 with commentary. Obviously 1 video per chapter. Quite a lot of people like the idea of 1 or 2 videos for a single game. It's a much longer video. I am obviously going to timestamp when each chapter starts, and people can come back to the same video. I'm currently watching Eliajaz, or however his name's pronounced, Swedish streamer on Twitch, play the first his first Callisto Protocol playthrough, and that's 1 whole video. And it's kind of nice not to be leaving it off in a playlist, because you know what it's like if you watch other people's content gaming wise like this. Like say it's saying 30 parts, you gotta go, oh, what was it up to? Part 8 out of 30, 12 minutes in. If you're anything like me, you'll do that, because obviously it takes time to watch a full Let's Play, but I find watching certain Let's Plays and walkthroughs really engrossing. There's some people who I just enjoy watching more than anyone else. But anyway, I digress. But don't worry guys, we'll get started in a minute. This walkthrough is going to be in 2 parts, of course, like I just mentioned. Today we're going to be doing the first 8 chapters of the game. Chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then that's probably the halfway point in the game. And then chapters 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And the second video. There's an odd number, the amount of chapters in this game. Kind of triggers me. When I recently did Dead Space 1, it was 12 chapters. So I could obviously do 1 to 6 and then 7 to 12. Worked perfectly. But not so much with this game. But I'm absolutely delighted to bring this back to the channel in the form of a walkthrough like this. This is no frills. I did do an AKUMU no upgrade keys, no commentary playthrough. It wasn't really a walkthrough. Although, you know, I died 7 times on no upgrade keys, so I used to be pretty good at this game, no upgrade keys, but I've not done it for a long time. But since December 2015, I've learned a heck of a lot more about this game. I can help people out more, and yeah, and still, this game is still going to kick your ass because it's a 1-hit kill difficulty. Also, absolutely love Mr. G-Star321's walkthrough of this many, many years ago now. I missed that guy so much. He kind of came back and then left once more, but yeah, I absolutely adore this game. It means the world to me. One of my favourite games of all time, top 10, without a shadow of a doubt. Favourite game in the last 10 years. Got shit on at release, absolutely unfairly so, and now people are clamouring for a 3rd game. The 2nd game was a big, big letdown, watered down for the masses, watered down for the little kiddies who couldn't handle the difficulty of the 1st game. It's still quite fun, don't get me wrong, but it's not on the same level as this game. This game's got so many amazing mechanics, and I'll never stop speaking about them. I've also got, which I'll be uploading in a couple of days' time just before Christmas, a clips video. I've always got new clips for this game because funny things always happen. But yeah, I'm going to be getting most of the keys. No frills, let's go for it. Chapter 1, ladies and gentlemen. He's very boring indeed. But it allows me to just talk to you guys, because Chapter 2 is where this game's gameplay properly begins, and I'm going to be getting into the meat and gravy of the gameplay in Chapter 2. Those infamous black bars, they got rid of them in June 2015. My AKUMU walkthrough was December 2015. My first ever playthrough of the game was on the Xbox 360. Damn, look at those RTX reflections though. Damn, son. And yeah, December 2015 it was on the Xbox One. This is still on the Xbox, but I'm running this on a Series X, and there are certain frame drops in this game which quite simply aren't there now. Obviously it is a stable 30, sometimes a little lower, but this game looks nice, it really does, and I just absolutely love the grindhouse feel, the architecture, brilliant.
Smells like blood. Alright, stay sharp.
As for whether we'll ever get a 3rd game, I will have to say I don't think so, but you never know.
We're gonna check it out. Don't let anyone else through this door.
I can be an extra set of eyes.
We don't know what's happening here. You're a backup.
Of course, there is Alan Wake 2, which I'm going to predict will come out next October 2023. By the time that comes out, it'll be 13 years between both games. That's crazy.
Did you hear something?
I do like Alan Wake, but not enough to do a walkthrough of the game. You might be thinking as well, why didn't I do Callisto Protocol as a Let's Play, first Let's Play? I'll get onto that. I'm going to be doing a gaming pickups video soon. So if you guys want to know, watch that pickups video. I'll tell you then.
Are you injured? What happened here?
Can't be real. Impossible. Ruvik is...
I've got him. The security cameras might tell us something.
But yeah, today's December the 13th, Tuesday, 13th of December 2022. Got a week off work, which is why I'm playing this on a school night, ladies and gentlemen. And just over a month's time, we've got the Dead Space remake. I'm not 100% sure, but I might go all out on that. I might go on hard difficulty because it's a remake and not, you know, brand new game like Callisto. I played Callisto on normal, and I tell you what, it was challenging enough. The game is pretty damn tough, like this game was. And I was thinking before release, you know, I remember Glenn Schofield saying, "Oh, our game is going to be difficult. People are going to die a lot." And I was thinking, you might not want to make hard mode available on first playthrough, because what other game did that? This game, ladies and gentlemen. You couldn't play Nightmare and AKUMU on first playthrough, and if you could, it would have been absolutely farcical. So yeah, maybe they should have made it so that maximum security hard difficulty wasn't available on first playthrough. I mean, it's not so hard that you can't complete it, but I think some people got more than they bargained for with that game. But hey, if you put it on hard difficulty, all bets are off. You can't complain. You really can't. For what it's worth, I thought this game on survival difficulty is one of the best balanced games of all time. I remember I died 68 times. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's quite a lot for a first playthrough. I have seen people die a lot more, seen people die a lot less. And one of the many reasons, I'm digressing here, but I'm going off in a tangent, and this is my ability to do this whilst Chapter 1 is playing, but one of the reasons that I adore this game is the upgrade system. It couldn't be more simpler, but it doesn't have tools like The Last of Us has. It doesn't have red gel like the sequel has. It doesn't have empty power nodes like Dead Space has, you know, where there's empty power nodes and they don't do anything. By the way, if you keep tapping RB here to crouch and... whoa, that's never happened before. Oh, I'll be saying that a few times in this playthrough. But yeah, if you just take your hand off the right bumper or R1, whatever is a PlayStation, this is a little bit faster than default walking speed, so it looks ridiculous, but it's kind of satisfying to do at the same time. But I digress. Where was I? Oh yeah, this game's upgrade system. No red gel, no tools, no empty nodes. You can upgrade whatever the hell you want on this game, and on first playthrough, you'll see people upgrade totally different things. You'll see people disregard the matches. You'll see people burn corpses. You'll see people hoard and not realise how important the crossbow bolts are. You'll see people waste all the bolts. You'll see people get all the keys. You'll see people miss all the keys. It's a linear game, but there's a lot of replayability here within its gameplay. The game, the graphical style and the grindhouse feel is amazing, but it still manages to be more diverse in terms of its locations than the second game, which was just very, very vanilla and bland and a typical kind of American town kind of feel, for the most part anyway. Fucking hell, I've not done Chapter 1 in a long time. Reason being, I always just load up Chapter 2 and play from there. But you know, obviously just last week I've completed Callisto twice. I completed it once on normal, and then I did an all collectibles playthrough on easy, and just mopped up some, like 2 or 3 more achievements that I needed to mop up. And I have to say, I absolutely love when these kind of survival horror games take cues from each other and inspiration, and you can tell, but it's not plagiarism. Kind of like, I mean, in Callisto, there's a few parts that are just ripped off from Dead Space 2. And there's a few parts which are ripped off this game, and this game rips on Dead Space 1. So they just keep borrowing from each other. And I'll tell you now, Alan Wake 2 is going to do the same. Especially with the fact that they're going more like full-on survival horror and like the mindfuckery of that game, like this game has. But yeah, Dead Space remake, I think it's going to be very, very similar to the original. It's going to add a few new areas in. But Gunnar Wright, the guy who plays Isaac Clarke, looks exactly like himself. And I know that sounds daft, but I just saw a small video with his helmet off in a location which isn't in the original game. And it's going to be interesting, man. I still don't trust the devs. People have spoke about the Callisto protocol being a janky game. But once that patch was released, and if you believe Glenn Schofield, then it was initially like a wrong patch of the game or some shit, and that's why on PC it was broken at launch. It's like, it sounds implausible, but they managed to fix it so quickly, then why wasn't it like that at release? So maybe he's telling the truth. It was so bizarre. Because I think now it's patch 1.06, it's like the 3rd patch altogether on Xbox, and I played on performance mode on the Series X, and I feel like the game doesn't always sustain 60 FPS, but overall, it plays and runs quite well, and a lot of people are just repeating the same spiel. I'm telling you now, the reason I'm talking so much about Callisto, and I won't, once Chapter 2 gets started, guys, I will start concentrating on the gameplay, but this is just so... This is very linear, and this is just... You can't really fail that much here until this part with the sadist, but there's parallels between Callisto and this game, where they both got shat on at release. They both got really criticised heavily. And I wouldn't be surprised in years gone by, like, oh, remember Callisto Protocol? I wish that game would get shit on. I wish they'd do a sequel, blah, blah, blah. Because I'll tell you right now, with a survival horror franchise now, an IP, if they don't hit it out the ballpark with how much money these games cost to make, you're not going to see another game in the series because they're losing money, they're hemorrhaging money. And I don't think we will see a Callisto 2, and I think that's a shame because they can definitely improve upon it. It's a 7 out of 10 game for me personally, Callisto. But like I said, gaming pickups video sometime next month in January. Watch that, and you'll hear my thoughts more in depth. And then there's Resi 4 remake. After I get past this part, I'll tell you what I think of the Resi 4 remake and what's going to happen there. But basically, ladies and gentlemen, here we want to crouch to the left. Throw the bottle. Always crouch when you throw things on this game. You can sometimes tap the bed there, the sadist, but he's run out. If Sebastian says shit, you'll know that you've been caught and you're in big trouble. Pick this bottle up, ladies and gentlemen. Put the camera over Sebastian's head, aim it, and throw the bottle at the boxes. Now, you would never know to do that on a first playthrough, and I think the sadist's AI here is one of the most interesting pieces of AI in one of these kinds of games, because you would have thought that his AI was really obvious, but it's not that obvious. I never have a clue what the fuck this guy's going to do. And it was so intriguing on first playthrough. And listen to this atmosphere as well. Fuck the haters of this game. I'm running free. if you're wondering, am I going to do another long play, like Dead Space 2 or Evil Within 2, I might do. I'm not certain. Not certain. Resi 4 remake coming in late March, ladies and gentlemen. But now Mr. Gary Newman has something to say.
Find myself within darkness twisting me around. There is nothing I
This intro is just so sick.
This world doesn't spin, it just turns itself around and around. The night chokes tight in the noose.
Alrighty. You know, I've got such amazing memories of playing this game for the first time because it was December 2014 and it was on the Xbox 360. I never played, you know, a game on the Xbox One, PS4 by then, and I'm not a PC Master Race guy, so when I played the game in about sub 15 FPS with the black bars on a 360 with texture pop-ins that were absolutely awful, I didn't care. I just wanted that aesthetic, I wanted the gameplay, and I knew it was Shinji Mikami making a more survival horror version of Resi 4, and I was interested and I was all hooked in, and I gave this game an 8 out of 10 on my first playthrough. It was only on subsequent playthroughs that I realised how good that it is, and I think with these kind of games there's a limit to how much you will enjoy them on your first playthrough because, well, number one, they're hard, they're meant to be stressful, they're meant to be tension filled, and if you don't enjoy that, you're not going to get enough out of these games. Simple as that. I've said it before, I'll say it again. People like the thought of these games and they play them and realise they don't like them. This game on first playthrough though, I was just crouching everywhere with a shotgun, and I think that says it all, you know.
Are we awake?
The balance of being on the back foot but also able to fight back is just so important. But you know, I'm fascinated by mechanics in these kinds of games, and I just obviously completed Callisto, like I was speaking of. In that game,
This place is necessary.
you can't heal or give yourself more health. You can't max out your health.
I'm afraid I cannot answer that. Please.
You can't also get more health back from health kits or injectors or whatever. On this game, you can. It's like Resi 4 with the yellow herbs. The yellow herbs were genius because as the game got more difficult, you could max out Leon's health. And then what did Resi 5 do when Mikami left Capcom?
You are
Got rid of it.
Please relax.
Oh god.
Please have a seat.
They just gave you one of the worst inventory systems in video game history, and then gave you a melee vest and a bulletproof vest, if I remember correctly. But every time I replay Resi 5, which isn't that often because I'm not that keen on it, I can never remember when I need each.
Stop.
There now. You see? All better.
Lady, am I going crazy?
I'll be waiting.
You know, got a chapter coming up with non-stop gunplay, enemies with guns all over the place, and you take the melee vest. Woohoo! Not the bulletproof vest. I mean, don't get me wrong, Resi 5's not a bad game.
Shit.
Resi 6
What the hell is going on?
I liked it at release, but no,
Where am I?
not that keen on Resident Evil 5. You know, one thing that
Where are you?
I would have wanted more of with Callisto is, one, I do prefer gunplay than melee combat. But more gunplay doesn't need to mean that the game is too action focused. Introduce puzzles and backtracking. You know, this game doesn't have enough backtracking and puzzles. Let's get that balance right, ladies and gentlemen, because it's all about balance, it really is. I think with Resi 4 remake, Capcom are going to take a lot of liberties. I'm going to be very intrigued to see how much they cut from the game, because obviously they got chastised for doing that with a Resi 3 remake, which is my favourite Resident Evil game. But overall, for fan service, Resi 4 is the most popular in the franchise, let's admit it. So, and it's a phenomenal game.
Connolly?
But I'm just going to go with the flow of Resi 4 remake. They're going to make a lot of changes, but keep it similar at the same time, you know? And I think they'll follow the blueprint of this game, I really do. So that's the first thing we do, ladies and gentlemen, in this walkthrough. We don't shoot Connolly at all. Save your bullets, run away from him. Yet again, there's a lot of things in this walkthrough, ladies and gentlemen, where you'll be like, well, how would I know how to do that on my first playthrough? And the answer is, you wouldn't. Don't get me wrong, this game, I bloody adore it, but this difficulty that we're playing on, it's a freaking one-hit kill difficulty. John Johannes, the guy who directed the second game, play-tested this difficulty.
I'm a police officer.
He was the one who greenlit it and said, you know what?
Shit.
Let's release this.
How am I gonna get you to a hospital?
Hospital. 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 Hospital!
What the fuck?
Shit. What the fuck? So yeah, thank you, John Johannes, for giving us the delight that is AKUMU difficulty. I much prefer Nightmare. The hit detection in this game and a few other things, such as you can get killed by your own explosive bolts on this game. If I shot those crows now, there is a chance an explosive bolt could hit me. Imagine playing AKUMU, doing challenge runs, trying to keep your deaths down, and then you die to some bullshit like that. Like you'll see in a bit, grenades on this game, they don't have an RNG radius with their explosions, but explosive bolts do. So sometimes you can get killed by them when you shouldn't. The explosive bolts are one of the rare things gameplay-wise that I don't like about this game. I love so much gameplay-wise about this game, but the explosive bolts are not one of them, to say the least. There's green gel in there. I'm not going to get all green gel. But you know, I can do a walkthrough. I can tell you guys when you should upgrade for the first time. I can help a heck of a lot, I think, ladies and gentlemen. If anyone in the comments section wants more help with this game, please ask. You'll see me on the Evolving Reddit. When people are asking questions on there, I'm usually helping out. If I knew how to use Reddit, I'd have to be a moderator, but I don't know how to, so there we go. As you can see, I picked up 2 matches before. That's RNG. A heck of a lot of the time, you'll only pick 1 up. We picked 2. But here we have it. Let's get into the meat and the gravy of the game now. Let's concentrate. This is Chapter 2. And I remember doing this. Never mind AKUMU. I remember doing this my first Nightmare playthrough. And it being balls hard. But it doesn't have to be, ladies and gentlemen. Tip number 1. Enemies are very flammable. And also, the biggest difference going from either casual or survival to Nightmare and AKUMU, because I want to explain the difference in the difficulties in a second, is the AI. Look at the speed of these pricks. Burn this hay bale, get their attention. You won't have to do much to get their attention. They're both on fire. And I don't believe it. I do not believe it. I anticipate those unprecedented moments, and although I don't welcome them completely, I knew within the midst of this Let's Play there were going to be a few deaths which I cannot quite simply remember occurring for a heck of a long time. That's one of them right there. I haven't died like that for absolutely ages on this game. But I'm not going to edit it out. And I'm not going to restart. I'd like my deaths to be pretty low. This is RNG green gel, by the way. I'd like my death count to be pretty low. And by the way, I do recommend maxing your health out. And you might be thinking, why would you do that? Because if you leave your health low, the game will give you more RNG drops that are syringes. And that's a syringe that could actually be something useful. So for first time AKUMU players, max out your health. The game still will give you syringes when you're maxed out in certain places because this game's kind of dumb at times, but I wish it didn't. But at the end of the chapter, I'll speak of that death. That was absolutely amazing. Now, unfortunately, the RNG path in here has screwed me over, and I want to do this. I can kill these guys using that hay bale now, but most of the time here, I want to adhere to slower like strategies that I would anticipate a first-time AKUMU player to be able to do more so than something faster and more difficult. And when I do certain strategies, which I think, bloody hell, that's quite difficult for a first-time player, I'll be able to tell you guys there's something different that you can do, you know? But this guy's path in here, and it's the same when we go down there, it's completely RNG, so it's not the case of you get closer to them, they're always in the exact same spot. He could have been walking there then, and I'd have been able to waste no time, creep up behind him, and stealth kill him, but unfortunately his pathing had me waiting for quite a long time. Bit frustrating, but it's just the way it is. But yeah, heck of a lot of stealth action in Chapter 2. A lot of people complained with this game that the stealth went out the window early doors, but it's meant to, and it's meant to because the way this game works is, you know, shotgun, crossbow, grenades incoming, sniper, getting more powerful, blah blah blah. By then you don't really need to be stealth killing enemies. In the second game, one of the issues is there's way too much stealth and there's no intensity to the combat at all. You get an assault rifle and the game's not as difficult by default, and it's more open plan, etc, etc. Get to the second half of the game and you're still freaking stealth killing everything. Doesn't make sense. Whereas if you compare it to something like The Last of Us 1 and especially 2, with those games, when you're stealth killing things in the second half of the game, it's still exciting. That's because the devs made sure that all the enemies were still difficult. And the game's pacing works. So in the late game of Last of Us 2, you have all these different weapons, but stealth killing still feels important. And that's because there's no lockers in that game. It's just the way that the game was designed. So this is RNG as well. So when you creep up to this house, this guy with a torch is going to be on the same path in, but you never know where he's up to when he's going left and right. The guy who comes out of the house, however, he will only come out of the house when you get close to it. Stay undetected, none more of them will spawn. However, get detected beforehand, and 3 or 4 enemies, I think it is, come out of the house. Now, as you can see there, this works on Nightmare and AKUMU very well. Oh, Jesus. The shit out of me. He's taking his time. There'll be a few more cheesy, stupid deaths, I think, in this playthrough. So a while since I played this on AKUMU, I've been playing different Nightmare challenge runs for a heck of a long time. And first AKUMU playthrough in maybe a half a year or so. But yeah, let that guy blow himself up. Use the gunshot as a distraction. Got our second key. Let's move on. Some nice green gel, some nice loot in here. RNG drops. This game's RNG loot drops, for me, are amongst the most satisfying in gaming history. Like just dropping 2 handgun bullets and a bit of green gel. It drip feeds you the loot. And this game's dopamine hit. I don't know, man. I just find it so damn satisfying. As you can see, we burned the guy who was on the floor there. Now, this is an intriguing strategy, and it's one where you can take a heck of a lot of these guys out of commission. But it ain't easy, so I will discuss at the end of chapter 2 a few other strategies which you could do here. But as we can see, I threw the bottle just before where the tripwire is. That guy has been killed. He won't always die to that. I'm going to wait for the enemies to come by. I'm going to pick this torch up. I'm going to be seen purposefully. Turn your lantern on if you want to. These gentlemen are now running. I'm burning the hay bale. And then all these guys just got shrektified. Pick up the green gel. No, you might get killed a few times doing that strategy. He got awfully close to me then, actually. That haunted enemy. But as we can see, we just took about 4 or 5 of them out of commission. Three burr traps here, ladies and gentlemen. The burr traps were in, you know, Resi 4, they're in Alan Wake. Burr traps are in many, many games. But this game does them better because you can use the ammo by disarming them with your crossbow, and that's just, it's so simple, but it's so satisfying. There's 3 there, and I'm going to use 1, or leave 1 I should say, just so an enemy can potentially go into it. If you don't know, obviously the matches in this game, when an enemy's on the floor, you see the match icon there, you can burn them, but you can also burn them when they're in the burr traps and standing up. Most people don't know that. So on Survivor and Casual, there's just these 2 fellas here, but here there's 4 enemies. There's 1 on either side, and your first Nightmare AKUMU playthrough, you might remember that if you use this crank here, they all get up. So if I was to do this legit, even for me, having played this game so many times, it would be quite tough. I could die. I wouldn't recommend going for headshots so much on AKUMU. Go for leg shots, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to go for crit of any weapon, I'd say go for crit of the shotgun. But anyway, now some people say that it's easier to do this while standing. It might well be. This isn't 100% guaranteed to work, but we are now attempting to burn 3 of these. If we only get 2, don't forget, we've got the burr trap down there. I might lure 1. I've got a torch as well, so let's see what happens here, but we're going to go up. We've got 3 of them. That's good. Crouch behind the guy on the left. Give him a good old London shanking. Now, if one of those had survived there, I wouldn't maybe recommend to stab that guy on the left, because you could get hit during the animation. It happens a lot in this game. It's one of the reasons why, although the flash bolts are fantastic in this game, they're not the be-all and end-all like some people think they indeed are. Some of the textures here sometimes are a bit slow to pop in. This is the best console version of this game though, without a shadow of a doubt, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, PC version of this game. You can, if you wish, choose to play it. I'm going to leave that guy alive though. 60 FPS. I might get seen here, but I'm not that bothered because I know that I'm fine. Be careful when you're sprinting in this game. I'm just going to prove what I mean here. Let's see if this guy hears me. Watch. Oh, listen. Yeah, listen to that. He's heard me. I'm in a different room, other side of a brick wall, and his senses are that good that he's heard me. He's not running straight away, but I heard him growl. He's run around the other side. You can get away with that kind of shit on casual and survival. You can't on Nightmare AKUMU. The senses are a lot better. And I've got to say as well, absolutely amazing of the devs to make this game such a different experience on Nightmare AKUMU, because it felt like a different game. The exact same places you'd been to, but the enemies are so much more aggressive, and the Ruvik clones, I remember seeing them for the first time in chapter 3 and just thinking, holy shit, this is going to be tough. And there's a few different enemy spawn locations, things like that. With these mostly linear games, where these days it would be argued there's not enough replayability because everything's got to be open world. Not that open world means that a game's more replayable. They need to come up with different ways of keeping things fresh. That's why I really liked with The Last of Us 2 how they had a custom difficulty. And also the fact that you can play permadeath
Better get out of here.
on easy. If you want to play permadeath on easy, on any game, why shouldn't you be able to? You know? I think that's a really good idea. Is it so difficult for the devs to allow that? All it does is give more people different kind of gaming experiences, and I think with that game as well, there's like a speedrun timer for people who want to speedrun the game. You're giving people an incentive to play your game a whole different way. But ladies and gentlemen, Chapter 3. Claws of the Horde. I am going to be doing what's called the suicide strats for this chapter, and what that means is we're going to be killing the sadist straight away. You need to use good manipulation of the RB button here to crouch whenever Sebastian is doing things that need to be quick. I can't explain it, but crouching on this game whilst doing certain animations, like this now, look. I'm holding the crouch button a lot. It gives you a better control of him. When you throw grenades on this game, I think I mentioned it earlier, you've got to crouch.
Shit.
Because standing up and throwing a grenade on this game, he does this weird jump forward, and it's slower, and it will get you killed. That's not a strategy that the devs anticipated. They just made the animation a lot worse while he's standing, and crouching, throwing the grenades is a lot better. It's so peculiar. So, bombs on AKUMU, I would not recommend to disarm them unless you've gotten a checkpoint. I'm sure you guys will know this, but you can freeze the bombs with a freeze bolt. They will eventually fall. After about a minute, they'll fall and you'll have to disarm them again. But if you freeze one, you can get 2 trap parts from the bomb. So let's say you were full on freeze bolts and there's a freeze bolt in the area. RNG grenade, ladies and gentlemen. And you can get more trap parts back that way. So cool. There's also a trick that a lot of people do on this game, where they use the inventory weapon wheel, like that, and try and stop it. I find that harder. I'm not exactly great at disarming the bombs in this game. I think they're an absolutely fantastic risk and reward gameplay dynamic. We've all raged at the bombs at some stage or another when we played this game, you know, veterans of the series, but I just think they're fantastic. I really do. And I've seen other people play this game and like, oh, well, why don't the monsters set them off? I saw someone on Reddit a few weeks ago complain that Sebastian's own shock bolts didn't shock him. But this is a Japanese game and they're your shock bolts, thus they don't hurt you. This is Ruvik's world and these are his minions, thus the bombs, the enemies don't set them off. There's a freaking RNG syringe that I don't need. You know what I mean? It's that kind of silly logic, but I like it. It's very gamey and it's very daft, and I really don't mind it. But here, ladies and gentlemen, you do exactly as I'd done. Don't go through the door where the grenade was. Don't go through the right-hand side. Come all the way back here. That way you've looted everything. And after looting everything, we're going to grab the axe. I'm going to leave in the drop-down menu a link to a video I did, a standalone video in Chapter 3, this chapter, 2019, when I showed how to kill all the enemies in Chapter 3. So if you can't replicate what I'm doing now, then just know that video will help you. Now out here, there are more matches. And early doors, if you want to know what to upgrade, matches, sprint, flashbolt specifically, accuracy of the handgun, stock of literally nearly everything, all great things to upgrade. I am going to upgrade for the first time just before the Kidman water fight, but obviously you guys feel free to upgrade as soon as you'd like. In regards to the lockers, the loot that you get from the lockers is the same in every playthrough, so there's the exact same amount of green gel, the exact same amount of handgun, shotgun, sniper ammo. You will just get them in a different order. I do believe the green gel is done in such a way that you will always get them in the 3rd lockers, the 6th lockers and stuff like that, just to give yourself a balance. I'll be getting most of the keys just to help you show you guys where they are, but I won't be getting absolutely every one of them. But on this balcony there's no loot here. Just recently a fantastic speedrunner called AMAWolf discovered a new out of bounds glitch here, which has completely changed the whole game up for speedruns. I used to casually speedrun this game up until about 2017, but the game has changed a lot in the last 5 years. Holy shit.
Who's there?
No, don't shoot. I'm not one of them. I'm a doctor. Marcelo Jimenez.
You were in the ambulance before it crashed, right?
Yes, we're lucky to be alive.
Have you seen anyone else?
My patient Leslie. I saw him running up ahead, but...
But?
Come this way. Quietly, mind you. Have a look for yourself. Those things chased me all the way into the village.
Me too.
So as you can see, we've got the axe in our hands here, but after this cutscene, I think Sebastian drops it by default. I can't remember if he does.
Good lord.
There are too many to shoot our way through.
One of us could try to lure them away while the other gets the gate open. You're the one with the gun.
No, he's still holding it.
If you say so.
I'm mistaken. Use the axe on the crank and then crank this shit. There's a little tip for you as well, ladies and gentlemen. In the safe rooms in this game, it's really, really, really dumb, but don't go into them with an axe because you will lose the axe. That is a guaranteed promise. So just leave it outside the safe room. But here, do exactly as I've done. Stay crouched as this guy goes through. These guys are not going to attack you here. But this is what I was saying. For a first time AKUMU player, these are very intricate movements that I'm making here. So you could easily mess this up when you're new to AKUMU, but just know that the enemies aren't programmed to attack you here. This guy will shoot, but he'll always miss. Don't sprint. I don't know if you can sprint here. You might be able to. Now this is a safe way of doing this, and obviously this is a walkthrough for first time players who want to learn some tips and tricks. Maybe not necessarily just first time AKUMU players, but you see, when I play a hardest difficulty on a game, I don't look at a guide. I look at the guide after I've done it to see what I did wrong and to see how I can improve. That is if I really enjoy the gameplay. But the reason that this is difficult is because, look, I'm going to be crouching during this. You need to be quick doing this. I've done it so many times now that I shouldn't fail it at all, but this is nerve-wracking. Basically, we're going to open this up. This is not booby-trapped. Collect the ammo immediately. Keep the crouch button held down as you're doing that. Hit him with the 2 axes. This is 8 bullets, ladies and gentlemen, so there's 6. We're going to reload, we're going to move back. He's going to rev up the chainsaw. And as you can see, if I'd have destroyed this front barricade there, that would have been very, very close indeed. Now, one thing I want to mention here, and we're going to loot the whole of Chapter 3 here, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to take another 5 minutes or so, is... Better hold on to this. Gotta love Anson Mount's performance in this game. So wooden, but so wonderful. Beautiful. Silent Hill guys would be proud. Anyway, where was I? Lost my train of thought. Yeah, we're going to loot the whole of Chapter 3. I think I wanted to say something else, and I've lost my train of thought, which is unfortunate, but there we go. Can't really help with these kind of things here. The chests. The game does tell you in your first playthrough as a tutorial what they're about. If you've forgotten and you're playing AKUMU and Nightmare for the first time, you will get a reminder if you keep the tutorials on. But basically, you want to open them halfway. That was what I was going to say. If I'd have destroyed that front barricade there, that Haunted might have just about gotten me. But what I also wanted to say is that back in December 2015, when I did this game as a walkthrough on my YouTube, I had the Fighting Chance Pack. I still have the Fighting Chance Pack, I just don't use it these days because, well, quite simply, I don't want to. I just choose not to. Anyone who says that like, the Fighting Chance Pack is cheating and all this shit, well, they're a freaking moron, it's not cheating, but what you get is an extra medical kit, which would be useful on this walkthrough anyway. It's AKUMU, and we get no health. 5,000 extra green gel. The Incendiary Bolt, which is very useful indeed, although you can easily kill yourself with it if you don't know what you're doing on AKUMU. The Poison Bolt, which it's not that bad, the Poison Bolt. There's just not that many places where you can utilise it well. It's a cool idea. The animation of the Haunted dying to the poison is so cool. But if you've got 5 Haunted in front of you and you use a Poison Bolt, the game will only affect certain Haunted, just to kind of balance it. So like 3 will get poisoned, the other 2 will just still attack you. Incendiary Bolts cost 5 parts, Poison Bolts cost 3. And there's a double barrel shotgun as well, which cannot be upgraded but does 50% more damage than the default shotgun. But yeah, of course, without the Fighting Chance Pack, the game is a little tougher. I've been playing without it now for many years. But some people really want the Fighting Chance Pack. And I don't get why, but each to their own. But now, with the Sadist dead, we have the ability to loot this whole area. Like I said before, ladies and gentlemen, if you think, oh, I can't replicate what you've just done, I need to see this done legitimately, watch the link in the drop-down box below. It's from 2019, about 3 years ago exactly, actually, where I do Chapter 3 legitimately whilst killing all the enemies. But there's a lot of potential to be killed in Chapter 3. It's quite tough if you do it properly. Without the suicide strats. No fall damage in this game. Look at that. Freaking sick. We don't need an ultra-realistic game world, you know, where, oh, my character just fell off a ledge and... Oh my god. There is one of the things that I dislike the most about this game, though, as well as... As well as the explosive bolts having an RNG chance to kill you. The radius sometimes just screwing you over, and that could definitely kill us a few times in this playthrough. Although because I'm upgrading things, I will be relying on the explosive bolts. Not so much, but when you do no upgrade keys, you have to rely on the explosive bolt more. And that's one of the reasons why I stopped doing the no upgrade key runs. Well, that and the, 3 seconds of stamina. But yeah, the accuracy of the handgun, what were they thinking? There's a lot of skill involved with this game. Amidst the AKUMU bullshit. But the handgun on this game, the accuracy, it's not like a weapon sway where it goes like that. Like The Last of Us 1 and 2, the weapon sway is something that you can see. It's something that you upgrade and it disappears nearly. On this game, there is no weapon sway. Well, there is a slight weapon sway. You can see it bob up and down a little bit. But all it means in this game, the accuracy, is it's bullshit mode. You get less chance of bullshit. That's all it is. So by default, there's a bigger chance of bullshit than on level 2, 3, 4, 5. Quite simply, ladies and gentlemen, on AKUMU, I would be recommending, on any playthrough, anyone playing this game on casual for the first time who's a real casual gamer and hasn't really played many games similar to this, I would still say upgrade the freaking accuracy. The first 2 levels are really cheap. By chapter 6, you really want to be on accuracy level 3. By chapter 11, you want to be on accuracy level 4. But already here you can see that I'm full on shotgun shells. So if I wanted to go back to the nurse, I jolly well could. But I'm not going to need to because I know there's more than enough resources for me. And that's another thing with this game. If you compare this game to Last of Us, Ungrounded, this game you get a lot more resources. And obviously you might say, well, oh, you played this game a million times before, Alex, you know what you're talking about. But you get the lockers and you can go back to the lockers at any time. But that's the genius of them. But in that game, you get the shiv doors and you get the safes, which are obviously inspired by Resident Evil 2 Remake, which is cool. But you obviously leave that area, and then that's it. You lose the opportunity to go back, and you can't upgrade the shit again. I think I've looted the whole of this area. So that's this area looted. Watch the video in 2019 if you want me to see me do this legit. Well, that's chapter 3 done in a cheesy way.
Wait! Over here! Wait, officer. You must take me with you.
Detective Castellanos.
Leslie should be just ahead. It is imperative that we find him.
Ew, I say. But that is a general misconception about this game. You see guides online and stuff and people talking about it, and it's like, oh, it's a heck of a lot harder, the enemies are faster, and all these things that are correct, but then people say something incorrect, and that is that you get a lot less ammo. You don't get a lot less ammo. There are a few places, like there in chapter 3. Casual survival, there's 2 harpoons. Nightmare AKUMU, there's only 1. But it's very nuanced.
Leslie was being
Very
treated here
nuanced.
years ago.
It's not so obvious.
He'd come here thinking it was familiar and safe.
You know where we are?
Just ahead is the hospice my brother runs. He'll take us in.
That didn't answer my question.
I honestly don't know. For all I know, I'm losing
Ooh,
my
trap
mind
house.
and you're just a delusion. But I'd like to think I still have a shred of dignity and an obligation to protect my patient. As an officer of the law, you should too.
I hope his brother's not a jerk, too.
Shit, savage, Seb. So, here's a little trick. You go up here, let this fat haunted, this is the introduction to the fat haunted, let him bust out, stand here, and then we're going to shank him London style to the back of their head. Beautiful. Free kill. There's another little trick for you, ladies and gentlemen. One of this game's shortcomings, and a lot of games similar to this do this, where there's walk and talk parts where you cannot move that quickly. They're frustrating, and I always think to myself, with these games, with these devs, what they should be saying is, did Resi 4 do it? And the answer is no. So why should these games do it? Because that's the pinnacle. Obviously that game is a lot more action orientated, but so what? These walk and talk segments are not necessary. This game does it, and you know, Last of Us 1 and 2 do it. A lot of similar third-person games do that, and it's not necessary. Obviously, it doesn't bother me that much because I've played this game a million times before, but you know, Callisto, that's got some as well. And that game will slow the character down purposefully during certain parts, and it's friggin' annoying. Anyway, this is mainly a loot area. We've got 2 enemies and Valerio. I am going to introduce you guys to a little trick here, which is when you knock an enemy down with a harpoon, as you can see, he ended up getting up towards the end of that, but they will get up slower. So if you want to guaranteed knock an enemy down, the harpoon is better. Now, if you hit them in the arm or the leg, they might not fall over properly. If you hit them in the stomach, like I just did there, they're guaranteed to be flung back, they're guaranteed to fall over, and they take more time to get up. There are many gameplay elements I adore about this game, but one of them is the RNG. Shut up, Doctor. The enemies. Because some get up straight away, and others don't. And it means that you never know what's going to happen on your next playthrough. They're the same fights, the same enemies, done it all before. Yada yada yada. But which enemy's going to get up straight away? Which enemy is going to have a very dangerous melee attack. Because that's another thing about this game. The enemies all have different melee weapons. And if an enemy has got a scythe, well, it's going to be more dangerous than you know, a little knife or some shit, because it's got a bigger hitbox. This guy's always chilling in this room. There's a flashbolt in here. There's flashbolts in chapter 3, so just run straight in, boom, flashbolt him straight away, ladies and gentlemen. And look at this, we've already got over 20,000 green gel. That's without the fighting chance pack. We've already got the ability to hold the crossbow with so much ammo. This game's hard on Nightmare and AKUMU, but it's not impossible. But if you wanted to do that without using any resources, that Haunted, he will walk from here to about here, and then he'll go backwards. So just hide around about here, don't sprint, kill him. Now we're going to kill Valerio. And you can do a little trick here to kill him without using any resources. And because I'm showing off some cool things in this playthrough, I'll show you guys again. I think I knew about this back in December 2015. This isn't anything new.
He must be going.
Obviously, the devs never anticipated anyone to do what we're going to do now.
Yes, expose everything.
Challenge everything.
What are you doing?
EA Games. They just fuck up everything, ladies and gentlemen. But Wilfred Brimley is not happy. Bloody hell, he's close to us there. Sometimes he'll be really aggressive from the start, and sometimes he won't. But just walk to here. As the doctor watches on the other doctor. They don't really look like brothers, ladies and gentlemen. Keep sneaking. Wait for him to turn his back. And give him a London-style shanking. And then we'll get our key.
How could he have done that to Valerio?
Couldn't be Ruvik, Doc.
Impossible. Couldn't be Ruvik.
So I still haven't spoken about the death in chapter 2. I've done that strategy on AKUMU and Nightmare for a long time. But the enemies on this game, when you set them on fire, they can reanimate and still kill you. It's cruel, it's hilarious, it's made us all collectively rage. Many people would argue it shouldn't be in the game. I can't really defend it. You know what I mean? I can't really say, obviously, that, oh, it's fantastic. But there's something that I love about it. I love the trollish nature. I just got screwed over by it, and I'm still not bothered. Because it adds an element of the game, like the difficulty, and,
What's wrong with
like I said, the trollish nature of it all. So yes, enemies on this game, they can be on the floor, they can get back up and grab you and kill you. It's unbelievable.
He's gone down there.
Forget about me.
Everyone who replays this game, you know, you might see it a few times in this playthrough where if you do see an enemy on fire, hit them with a shotgun straight away. If they're walking about, they're on fire, they will eventually drop down and die again. We're talking within a couple of seconds, but they're very dangerous. They can easily kill you in that time. Watch them carefully. As you can see, we're full on resources. By now, stock of the bolts, duration of the flash, accuracy of the handgun, get your sprint up to level 4 by the time of chapter 6. Really, guys, there's no excuses. If you're getting the keys, you are going to have enough green gel. If you're a first-time AKUMU player, you need to have level 4 stamina.
No, he couldn't have.
I don't usually hear that dialogue. But we're going to be introduced to the invisible enemies, and guys, I've got a secret for you. These guys are a piece of shit.
Down.
Wait, Doc. I think something's coming.
Fantastic enemy. Oh god, the camera just moved itself there. I don't know why that happened. That was weird. Game, you've already started to do a few things for the first time today. Please don't continue. The camera like moved itself. This game does that quite a lot where
This place is a
the
death
game will
trap.
tell you to hold
Is
the
there
A
anywhere
button
safe at all?
to see something
think
happen. I
that's
hate that. This game commits some real sins. It does. I can't deny that.
We must be going this way.
Can't get away. Can't get away.
Yet again, did Resi 4 do it? Nope. So why is this game doing it? But yeah, these guys, just flashbolt them. That's all you need to do. But yet again, those guys can get up off the floor and reanimate. If you burnt them, that is.
Don't follow.
Let's say you shot bolted them and burnt them. Then again, enemies don't tend to reanimate when you shot bolt them.
Fuck.
And then burn them. We might find out in this next room, ladies and gentlemen. Because as we get a good old Shining reference, this is one of the gnarliest, coolest rooms in the game. And there's no checkpoint here until you leave, so if you killed all the enemies and then failed to disarm a bomb and you died, you're doing the whole part again.
What is going on here?
I remember there's a highlight actually on my Twitch from my first ever Nightmare playthrough of this game. And I remember I was already full on grenades. You see, I should be upgrading here, but it's not going to make a difference to me. We'll upgrade just before the Kidman Water fight, because that's the first part where I feel that I could die. I mean, this is potentially a little bit tricky in this room, but we're going to be introduced here, ladies and gentlemen, to the shot bolt. It's absolutely incredible. The crossbow in this game is fantastic. But yeah, that highlight on my first Nightmare playthrough back in January 2015, I was raging, and I wish I didn't know, but it's just tough, you know, it's a hard difficulty. Never mind AKUMU. But yes, what we're going to do here, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to preempt the attack. So we're going to put an explosive bolt down just around there on the blood patch. Just know that this isn't guaranteed to work. Sometimes Ruvik, when he spawns, will not be killed by that. And that's another thing, you know, first Nightmare playthrough. On casual survival, Ruvik wasn't in this room, so I didn't have a freaking clue that he was coming. But yeah, I would advise leaving that tripwire there, just in case an enemy, sometimes either a female haunted or a fat haunted, will go through that. Now, we've preempted the attack again here by putting an explosive down, or a shot bolt down, I should say. I'm priming the flash, always have the flash primed, and now we're going to let them spawn in. We are going to use a couple of handgun bullets to slow down the first haunted here, to stagger him going into the shot bolt so he doesn't get into it too soon. He's dead. If he's not dead, I'll tell you what to do at the end of this part if he doesn't die. But as we can see here, there's shitloads of them, and I want this guy to be a little bit delayed. A lot of RNG going on here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to have to drop it. Interesting. See how I ran away then? I don't trust anything on this game. I wasn't 100% sure that the Fat Haunted had been burned because I didn't hear him scream. And did you notice that after I'd burnt them all, the shot bolt still worked afterwards? And that's a level 1 shot bolt. That's how good the shot bolt is on this game. Now that's RNG, but none of them actually... Seb's head's actually going through the wire there, but whatever. Yeah, none of them tripped the wire, but sometimes they will. They may not die even when they trip a wire. On this game, you could blow a bomb up with a haunted next to the bomb. You could use an explosive bolt. The enemy might not die. Try not to get too upset by that, because when an enemy on this game doesn't die to an explosion like that, the HP has been dwindled a lot. We're talking 80%, 90%. All it will take is 1 or 2 bullets of literally anything, and they'll be dead. So that's it, we are done here. Let's say now that you managed to kill all the enemies here, the Ruvik insta-kill clone, even if he doesn't die to the explosion, it slows him down a lot, and he ends up wandering through here like he's pissed, like he's drunk. Just take a pop shot at him here from a distance, use the harpoon bolt, or if you've upgraded the handgun, hit him with a handgun. If you feel like it, feeling brave, he will probably die, this is what I'm saying, because you've already hit him with the explosive bolt to anything. So maybe throw a grenade at him. And also, the Hands of Laura, the insta-kill that people find so annoying and complain about so much in this game, shoot it with the shotgun. Simple as that. Laura hands, shoot with a shotgun, they'll stop spawning. It'll stop them from killing you. But that's the best way to do that. If I had to do that room on AKUMU without putting that shot bolt down there, I'll admit, I could easily die. But there was that room where you got the shot bolt, there's a bomb in there, and there are 2 explosive canisters. Obviously, needless to say, just set them up and use them to your advantage if you want to do it like that. This is all self-explanatory. Always quite tough killing Laura though. I do kill everything runs, ladies and gentlemen, on this game, mostly on Nightmare, but sometimes on AKUMU, on rare occasions, and killing her is tough because it's very hard to know how much to hit her with. Tends to be 4 explosive bolts, 2 grenades and a couple of shotgun shells, and I put a shot bolt down just to protect myself as well. But sometimes it won't work and she'll kill me. It's one of the occasions in this game where the game is trying to make you run away and be scared and not disarm the bombs, or the tripwires I should say. Please do. Also make sure to burn this body, because there is a chance if you don't, she can actually hit you when you're going through this trap room here.
Damn it. That was close.
Seb has 2 different dialogues there. He has that one, and he has another one where he says, "I made it, I can't believe it." Pretty weird. Chapter 4 done, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for Chapter 5. So, ladies and gentlemen, at the start of Chapter 5, if you want to save a flashbolt here, as soon as this loading screen ends, run and sprint straight away. Keep running until stamina gauge is nearly empty. Let it refill. Hear that noise of the invisible enemy spawning in. Leg it as quickly as you can, and you can get a free stealth kill. You do that and you fail it, just get used to it. Once you get it down, once you've done it for the first time, becomes second nature, incredibly easy. You can kill that guy straight away, get his green gel. If you don't get his green gel straight away, it tends to disappear because the game doesn't understand how you've managed to get it. So just bear that in mind. But yeah, obviously by now you know, quite simply, flashbot those motherfuckers. It couldn't be easier. Spooky. I think there's about another 3 or 4 more invisible enemies in this chapter. I will be utilising the flashbolt strats for every single one. Why make it harder for yourself? But yet again, I have to say, me as a skilled player on this game, God, that sounds so big-headed, but someone who's very experienced, what would I do if I didn't kill these guys with a flashbolt? Well, using a harpoon, the trajectory of it will change when an enemy is in front of the trajectory. But it's not ideal. Shotgun, better obviously than the handgun. But quite simply, it would be awkward to kill those guys without the flashball.
Looks like I have to get down.
Yo, is that Roland the Rat? Come here, mate. Oh, damn, he just went head over heels. Goodness me. There's another key. The frame rate can shit the bed here, especially on the 360 PS3 versions of the game. You can see the puddles here as these enemies spawn in. But this is absolutely fantastic because these, what they call gurneys and all that shit, they're moving around, slipping and sliding over the floor. And then you become, like, obsessed that it's the enemies themselves and you don't know what is what. It's so good, man. Look at the atmosphere here. Look at the lighting and this ambience as well. This is what I want from my survival horror games. This ambience that's played. This isn't music, but it's better than silence. It just fits the tone so well. You know, if we ever get a third game, just let this guy come in, wait till the door opens fully, hit him with the flashball, and I like the animation from behind me. That is so much better than the one from the front. That's so sick. But yeah, if we ever get a third game, my prediction is that it will look more like the first game, because a lot of people said that they loved the style of this game. So I think the grindhouse style will come back, the griminess and the dilapidated buildings and all this kind of shit will come back. However, I hate to say it, but I don't think they'll be brave enough to make the gameplay like this again, where it's actually really tough. And this game punishes people for not concentrating, like running into bear traps, running into tripwires, getting blown up by bombs, keeping the lantern on and getting detected. That's more so on Nightmare AKUMU. But yeah, this game will punish you very easily. And sometimes it might seem unfair. And this game, I can't be objective about it. It is, or subjective about it. It is sometimes a little bit bullshit in certain parts. There's still a lot of skill involved, and you know, this isn't really a puzzle, this one. It's just choose what you see, you know. Well, the puzzles should be really easy, you know. We don't want them to be incredibly difficult. But they just break up the gameplay. You know, another thing that I love about this game, which they took away in the second game, and it sucks. Look, the unholstering of the weapons. I don't know why, but the holstering and unholstering of the weapons in this game is so satisfying. It's beyond belief, especially the crossbow. I actually love the running animation in this game as well. I think the game feels really fun to play, and I don't think a lot of people really gave this game praise in that aspect. This game is fun. Apart from when this idiot is around.
A little fight left in me.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. Joseph Horde, and on Nightmare AKUMU, he's only there to get himself killed. Just going to create a shot bolt and a flash bolt. Now, you can do this another way. I'll tell you how to in a minute, but we're going to do it this way. I'm going to shoot, and I'm going to miss because of level 1 accuracy. We will be upgrading that in a moment. Woohoo! That nearly missed, and that would have been bad. Come on, boys. Now, this should work, but if one of them survives, at least we've got the door to protect us. We've got some spare ammo. Someone's alive, but Joseph's shooting. Let's see if he kills them. I think he's unholstered his weapon. Oh. What the fuck? Oh shit. The shotgun in this game, ladies and gentlemen, is freaking unbelievable. I love it. One of my favourite shotguns in video game history. It sounds great, it looks great, it feels great. And you know, by level 1, when it's not upgraded, it reminds me of the Dead Space Force gun because it knocks them back onto the floor. And the reason that it does that with the physics is, one, it's just fun to watch enemies fly across the room, but also it gives you an opportunity to burn them with the matches. And in the second game, the shotgun is so bad, it's hilarious. One of the biggest, I think it's a misconception, I think it's incorrect, is what it is. But you will always see people say, oh, the second game's got better gameplay. Oh yeah, the second game is so much better, so much more fluid, and it's like, no it isn't. The second game's gameplay is not a patch on this game. The AI is atrocious, the shotgun feels terrible, the handgun aiming is really, really horrible. The crossbow doesn't work anywhere well as it does in this game, or as useful.
This looks pretty.
The enemies are... Oh my god, seriously, don't get me started.
Do you think we can get past it?
Stand back. Let me see if I can disarm it.
And the pacing of the second game as well doesn't make sense, because chapters 1 and 2, chapters 4 and 5 will take you like 20 minutes. Chapter 3, if you want to do everything in the chapter on your first playthrough, it'll probably take you about 5 hours. People talking about open world. That game is not open world at all. Chapters 3 and 7 are semi-open, is what it is. The rest of the game is still linear.
What is it with this sound?
But this game's linearity works.
Let's just get out of here. There's something wrong with this place.
Because it has a lot of tension and atmosphere, and it's unsettling, and the game's difficult. The second game doesn't have that, and it feels hollow because of it. My favourite parts of the second game are chapters 3 and 7, because I just enjoy going about, killing everything, and doing everything that's in the game world. All the optional shit, which I think is in chapter 3 and 7 as well. This game, my favourite chapter is chapter 10, because it's just absolutely absurd.
I knew it.
You should find this useful.
A lot of enemies in chapter 10. It's got that real Saw feel, like the Saw movies, a lot of traps. Traumas are introduced. It's incredibly intense, and the music, the atmosphere, and the level design is freaking phenomenal. One of the best levels in video game
This way,
history.
please.
without a shadow of a doubt. The Amalgam Alpha is a great boss fight, and then you get the ultimate showdown with Laura as well, which, for me personally,
Where are you taking me?
I think that's the best moment of this game, and I think it's one of the
You
top
don't talk
10
much.
moments in gaming in the last 10 years. I think it's absolutely incredible. But as we can see here, we've got the tutorial, the lockers. I've seen people reload the game here so they get the loot they want. I want to tell those people right now, there's no point in doing that. You're a freaking idiot. But they don't know that, ladies and gentlemen, so
Detective Castellanos,
I shouldn't be so rude.
do you have a key like this? That key will allow you to open this door.
For example, the game will always drop 2 sets of syringes. 2 each. Ooh,
The contents are yours.
there's nothing you can do about that.
Come back whenever you need.
I'd rather get them out of the way ASAP. Whoo! If you're playing AKUMU for the first time, I'll tell you right now, this mixture of green gel and shitloads of bolts, this is what you want to see. By now, already, ladies and gentlemen, even if it's your first playthrough, if you're getting all the keys, you might struggle to get exactly the same amount of bolts that I am, but or green gel, I should say. There's the freeze bolt. The freeze bolt should be coming later in the chapter, but I've just picked 2 up there. Be careful with the freeze bolts, ladies and gentlemen. You can kill yourself with the freeze bolts. If I placed it there and used it now, it would kill me. But the shot bolts don't. Oh, God. It's Japanese logic 101. But like I said, if you first AKUMU playthrough, feel free to upgrade by the end of Chapter 3, I'd say. Or heck, as soon as you want it, really. But these are prerequisite upgrades. What I mean by that is, you must, if you're trying to play this game and die as little as possible, these are prerequisites. So, accuracy up to level 3. I like my gun to be a little faster, so, yep, I've done that. I like a little bit of crit on the shotgun. I like to put 1 more bullet in the shotgun, because the crowd control of the shotgun in this game is amazing. A little bit of stock. This game, it's not The Last of Us ungrounded, like I mentioned before. Increase the stock. Agony bolts, max those motherfuckers out straight away. The grenades on this game, like I said before, if you get a little bit salty that you've thrown a grenade at a regular like grunt enemy and they haven't died, it's just the game balancing it. So let's say you throw a grenade right on the foots, or the feet I should say, of 4 normal haunted. 2 die and 2 don't. It's just the game's way of saying, we can't let you have 4 kills there, that'd be too OP. But hit those enemies with anything and they'll die straight after. But look how much I can upgrade here, guys. It's it's crazy. It's more than enough. But on your first AKUMU playthrough, you won't have gotten, if you weren't watching my guide or someone else's guide, you won't have gotten all this shit. And the way that I play the game, I don't need a lot of these upgrades. If I end up dying, it won't be probably due to what I haven't upgraded, if that makes sense. So what I've upgraded now is just amazing. More than enough. I did say before that I wouldn't recommend going for crit that much. It's expensive. I think crit is one of the more expensive things on the game. And I don't think it's as justified on Nightmare AKUMU, because the enemies run at you like their lives depend on it. First playthrough, if you're playing casual survival, go for it. Crit's great. On these difficulties, not as good because the enemies are running at you too quick. But everything's useful on this game, but Even firepower, you know.
We need to move.
Firepower is important, and for bosses as well, but there's a lot of times when you don't really need the extra firepower in this game. But this is the Kidman water fight. I don't care that I'm upgraded. The upgrades here, they don't matter as much. This is a big RNG fight, and you are fighting against the game here because it can incorporate bullshit. A lot of speedrunners and high quality players go on the opposite side of the room to where I'm going to go because you can get a free stealth kill and you get an axe. However, I'm going to do it my way because I feel like Frank Sinatra or Fred Durst. Shit! So I'm going to go this way instead. And I'm going to try and not talk here, but I'm going to put that shot down. Oh, there's a crit. Joseph's got a crit. The enemies are busted out a lot quicker than I anticipate, though.
How many of these things are there?
Oh, this is interesting. Now, this will quite simply... Oh, shit. Fucking hell.
Watch out! They've got dynamite.
I could do with an axe here, ladies and gentlemen, for a strategy, but I don't think... Yeah, there it is. Whoa, what the fuck? He got up quick.
Fuck.
Now, I don't think this strategy is going to work here because I've not been quick enough. No.
Sebastian, they're above.
What? Yours truly is having to adapt, ladies and gentlemen. He's having to adapt. You can't commentate that, you can't really account for it, and you can't explain absolutely everything. I certainly can't. Anyway, these faster fights, always run away from that guy because he will explode immediately.
Is that?
I would have to watch a video back of what the hell's going on here, but basically, this is tough for a first-time player to do, but you want to get the axe, you want to run up here. As soon, if you stand here, you'll hear the door crash open, but because you're stood here, it will not move. You will be fine as well. As soon as you see him on the other door, you can use your axe like that, and it will kill the first two, but there's two in the background in this room. Wait a few seconds, wait till they're all there, and kill them. What you could have done there, what I should have done, was probably to put a shot bolt down. But then I knew, and I know, that one of those guys has a shot bolt, and as such, sorry, an explosive dynamite stick, and I was worried about getting killed, so
Them on the move.
I used the freeze bolt, which I shouldn't even have. And I'm going to use another one here. Look how good the freeze bolt is. Apart from on this prick who has inexplicably survived. What the hell? This is why people don't like this game. I hate to say it, but things like that are why people don't like this game. Because that makes absolutely zero sense. That guy was in the midst of the freeze bolt and he didn't take damage. There's absolutely no excuses. Now these two guys with the dynamite, is he going to light up another stick? That's rare. Oh my god. Move up here and let Joseph kill him. Joseph will also sometimes run into the dynamite. He will also sometimes kill himself as well.
Damn it. That was close.
That was absolutely awful, and I'm really upset that that happened that way. I messed up so much there, and you saw how when a lot of strategies didn't work there, I was depending on the shotgun to get me out of a tight spot, and the more you play this game and you watch someone play AKUMU, there are many times where you think, oh my god, how did they not die there? How did they get away with it? They're so lucky. But it's because they played the game enough to know just about how to get away with it and to survive by the skin of the teeth, you know? As opposed to someone who's a new player. But yes, if I don't run up there, that spawn, where they come from that door, I think 2 of them end up using dynamite. And what you'll see first time players doing is they'll use the gun from down here. It's a clusterfuck. You don't want to be doing that. You're going to be in trouble if you are doing that. So my backup strategy, if you can't get up there and do what I said with the axe, is put a shot bolt down just in front of the door. When you see that all of them are in the shot bolt, burn them. Let's say, for example, you're in a situation in this game, because it happens a lot, where you know there's 4 enemies, but only 2 are in the shot bolt, and 2 aren't in the shot bolt, for example, and you're thinking, oh god, I hope the 2 at the back come into the effect of it.
We're running out of time.
Because you could commit to burning the first 2.
Where do these cables go?
You're in the animation of dropping the match, and you can't move, for example, if
Tell me what to do.
they've got a melee weapon and they're throwing it. Meaning, you're going to get killed. You could use a freeze bolt, or a flash bolt, or maybe throw a grenade from a distance. Don't forget, throw grenades when you're crouched. When things go wrong on this game, and on this difficulty, there are sometimes exhilarating split-second decisions where you've got to decide what's the best way to survive this bullshit. Whee! I think I can just kill that guy like that. There's a key to our right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to kill this guy here with a headshot. He's going to light that dynamite there. You can't get this key easily. Shoot it like that. Crouch. Pick it up. None of those guys are going to bust out the cells unless you shoot the padlocks. So you're nice and safe. We have very little shotgun ammo.
Look at the control panel. It's got the same kind of dials, right?
Yeah, a top one and a bottom one.
Set the upper dial to...
Yeah, and that's all because of that fight there, up there, and then here. Both were my fault, to be honest with you, but that was just fucking frustrating up there. And then when I used the freeze bolt here, I don't know why the guy didn't die. He really should have.
Hang on, I'm coming.
That was awful. It really was. I want to offer you my sincere apologies, ladies and gentlemen. That was not good gameplay. But yes, there's a torch at our feet here. Pick it up. Crouch as you do it, because like I said, every animation in this game is nearly always better when you're crouching. Run past these 2 guys. They will not attack you as long as you move forward immediately. Give it a few more seconds though, and then they will.
Kidman, you there?
To your left, there's a room with 2 trap parts and the potential of an RNG drop with more resources. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think we're on level 3 sprint still. Level 4 sprint is 9,000 green gel. But I want to tell you guys right now, first time AKUMU players, even Nightmare, I really do think level 4 sprint by the start of Chapter 6 is imperative. Now we've only got 2 shotgun shells here. I'm going to use this torch on this guy and then try to kill these 2 guys together like this. And thankfully we have. That's RNG, but...
Are you guys alright?
We're alright.
we did it, Reddit.
Just a few bumps, we're fine.
But you will see skilled players die quite a bit here, and the reason being, well, the fat guy, he's very aggressive, and I was really looking there to kill both of them with the same match, and I did do so. But there's also the
Looks like the
Joseph
door's
factor
locked
as
on the
well,
other side.
because
Sebastian,
they can kill him
we can
really
lift this
quick.
enough for Kidman to go under and open it from the other side.
We're counting on you.
All right.
Well, I'm relatively happy with how this has gone so far. A bit of sloppy gameplay here and there.
Let's get going.
Can't believe the location where I died. That is just incredible. As you can see, I got the grenades to 6.
We should go.
There are more important things for you to upgrade in your first AKUMU playthrough, but they're relatively cheap. I think
It's odd though.
to get the grenades from
Catch you instead of just
5 to 6 is
Maybe they
3,000.
didn't see me as a threat.
And the upgrade after that, the final one, is about 10,000, which is 6 to 10, and that's just not necessary. But by default, I think you can hold 3 grenades, and if you think of Resi 4 and the way that the grenades...
Another one of those doors.
Not so much the grenades, sorry, the inventory was. You could potentially hoard a lot more items, and I think one of the reasons this game is so fun is because of the way that it handles stock. It is fun to upgrade in this game, and you don't get too much of everything. You get a lot of handgun ammo. In any Mikami game, you get a lot of handgun ammo, but I feel like this game has the right balance of resources. Enough on a first playthrough to make you feel vulnerable, but also like you can fight back. It's the most satisfying game I've ever played on a first playthrough in regards to that. You know, you think of Dead Space 1 and 2, for example. I'm not going to say back in the day that when I played Dead Space 1 and 2 on normal for my first ever playthrough, that I had way too much ammo, but you can buy ammo in that game and you can keep it in the store. Can't do any of that shit in this game. You got the lockers, but yeah. Well, ammo in there, ladies and gentlemen. Nice little area where you find what should be the first freeze bolt. What we're going to do now is we're going to just crouch, throw this at the 2 haunted that you can hear. And they should be dead, but like I said before, if they don't die to a bomb like that, I'd just hit them once with a shotgun, they would then be dead immediately. So don't worry. Now this trap here will activate spikes around this area. If you want to save ammo, please go ahead and do that. There's also, I think, a bottle down there. So don't forget in this game, pick up a bottle, crouch as you are doing it, because like I mentioned again before, ladies and gentlemen, everything is easier when it's crouched. So yes, you can throw a bottle at the enemy's face, you crouch like that, and then boom, press A, stealth kill them. The game doesn't tell you that. Isn't it incredible that the game never mentions that as a tutorial? So you see people on first playthrough throw the bottle at the enemy's face and they don't realise what they've done, and instead they just continue to melee like this, and then the enemy ends up killing them, and it's so sad to see. Oh shit, it's taking a freaking syringe. It's so sad to see. Because the melee in this game is freaking garbage, man. But you can upgrade it, and the melee is garbage in this game. It's meant to be garbage in this game. But I think initially what they wanted to do is make the knife possible to be used from open play, like with Resi 4. So when the enemies are on the floor, you can swipe at them. And the Resi 4 knife, no Resi game since 4 has replicated how good that knife was, you know? The balance of the Resi 4 knife, like, you had a knife in RE Village, but it wasn't the same. It was close. I mean, in Resi 7, there's no point in having the knife. It was freaking garbage. Ugh, Resi 7. But The Resi 4 knife is just so well balanced. It's unbelievable. I don't need to say any more, do I? Because I'm guessing you've all played the game. But yes, initially in this game, the knife was meant to be used from open play, and then they decided to make it so it was just for stealth kills, and I think that was a good idea. I really do. Can't remember what I was going to say with that tangent. Also, that oil patch there, as soon as it disappears, you can walk through the fire. The hitbox goes away as soon as the oil goes away. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to be using the torches here for the Laura fight, so stock up on matches before this, because when she comes through the bodies, if you use a torch, you can sometimes miss her and burn the body. She won't die and you'll get killed. It is ridiculous. So this is a nice, easy, slow way of doing this fight. I'm going to get a torch just in case as an insurance policy, but we're going to go down here. See how I aim there to prime Sebastian into position? Let her scream. Run on. You don't need to do this body, although whether I could have gotten to here and had her not spawn, I'm not sure. But there's no point in taking risks, ladies and gentlemen. Hope this game's not too loud, I really do. There's one to go. Extra damage. Just might turn it down. I mean, it might be too late, but should be okay. I'm looking at the volume levels here. It's minus 18.3. Yeah, should be okay. But there we have it. I'm going to throw the torch away because it's useless now because we've got the guys that are in the Matrix. I've got 18,000 green gel here.
Go home.
We're going to place a shot bolt down there.
Subject's case history cites developmental delays. Indicates issues with communication, social cognition, repetitive behaviors. Signs of synesthesia reported. Genealogy suggests increased susceptibility to external stimuli.
So I would say put that
Be what I've been searching for all these years.
a good what? 12 inches? It's hard to tell in a game, but
There can be no mistake.
around the central as well to that tub.
Compatible.
And this strat should work. Does I'd say more than 9 times out of 10. I've been killed by this strat going wrong a few times, but these enemies are plugged into the matrix, so you have to crouch and hit the B button to unplug them. I don't know why you're unplugging them story-wise. I don't know what the fucking hell's going on here, I must admit. I don't know who these three are in relation to Stem. There's so many mysteries of this game. And I think they're meant to just be that mysteries, but I kind of like it. Right, he's tripped it now. Stand in the middle. And he should be absolutely fine. Sometimes, and I think it's going to happen here. Yeah, he's escape free. That's fine. Wait for him to attack you. And then shoot him. Because if you attack that guy when he's not actually running at you, if you attacked him and shot him when he's still like on his knees from the shot bolt, he'll get iframes, he won't take damage properly. He might still like hit you, for example.
Has something startled you?
Did they do something to my head?
You don't look well. You should take better care of yourself.
Photographs?
That's something else that I'm not too keen on with this game. with its mechanics. So let's say, for example, you've flash bolted an enemy, you've shot bolted an enemy, and then point blank with a shotgun, you shoot them. They don't come out of the animation of being hit by the shock or flash bolt until they're dead, when they'll ragdoll on the floor. But until they do, they'll continue either being on their knees with a shot bolt or waving their arms when they're blinded by the flash bolt, and they still can be burnt in that time when they're on the floor from the shot bolt. They can still be stealth killed when they're under the effects of the flash bolt, but they should have physics. They should, like, you point blank, shoot them.
What was that sound?
But they don't, they just stand there, and that can sometimes get killed, that. Because you're expecting them to move and they don't. Anyway, we have 2 explosive bolts coming up at the start of Chapter 6, so I'm not going to take them. We lost all our freeze bolts before, because I used them, but we've got more. I'm going to take that last one. I'm going to take that last one. These bolts have gone really quickly, and that helps me realise that I've not played very well so far. Because that's the thing, you've got to rely on the bolts in this game when strategies go wrong. And the game actually tells you, and I don't know if it's on the help menu here. Let's have a look. What is this? On the not tutorial, but when this game came out, it has a... Oh, here we go. What the fuck's this? No. Oh, no longer exists, really. Basically, the game somewhere, and I don't know if it's in here. No, it's not in here. In the manual of the game, it actually tells you that playing well with the crossbow is the way to survive this game on hard difficulties. And it's true. Because in games like this, usually, the crossbow is a throwaway weapon, or it's not as good. It's just a little added extra. In this game, it's absolutely freaking vital. Up there with a Half-Life one. I guess, for what it's worth, I'm gonna get the damage and the fire rate of the shotgun better. Oh, look at that! 2,500, ladies and gentlemen, for level 4 accuracy of the handgun. Not expensive. So where my upgrades are now, I'm very happy. Did I not get the matches to level 4? I think I did. I'd never say... I mean, my matches are on level 4. That allows you to hold 15. Level 5 is 30, which doubles them. It's incredible, but I personally think level 4 is fine. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the start of Chapter 6, and it's one of the most infamous moments in video game history. I think on my first Nightmare playthrough, not AKUMU, Nightmare, this part took me 2 hours, and on AKUMU I think it took me about at least 4, maybe 5 hours. It's one of the most brutal, sadistic, absolutely outrageous and downright ridiculous moments in video game history. And the fact that they didn't put a checkpoint in between the rooms,
Sebastian?
wow,
Sebastian?
it's a contentious one. And I'm going to cheese this room in a specific way, and if I didn't cheese this room in a specific way, I'm not going to lie to you, it's a lot harder to survive. But I have, on AKUMU, killed all the enemies in this room many times, but I need my upgrades to be a certain way. I definitely want more than 5 shotgun shells, I'll tell you that much. This part here coming up, a lot of people believe that cheesing with the flashbolt is the way you do it, and yeah, there's... If everything goes right, I will be using the flashbolt I think once or twice, but the flashbolt strat here is not the be-all and end-all. It's about knowing how to control the wave of enemies, so... From the off here, we're going to be shooting a barrel to kill the first 2 enemies. Then 3 more are going to come in. We're going to yeet one out of the room with a harpoon bolt, and then we're going to kite. Then we're only going to use the flash if we need to. If you're not good at kiting, if you're new to the game, then use the flash bolts if you want. Get the flash bolt to level 4 or 5 if it makes you happier. But I really don't think anything above level 3 with the flash bolt is totally necessary, if I'm being totally honest. I used to think it was, but not these days, no. But that's the first part. The second part is a little bit more nerve-wracking for me, because as soon as we get down there, let me think now. You see, I can't explain it. If it goes right, I can just showcase it to you guys. But basically, we have to kill enemies with a barrel again to ensure that the second wave happens. And when the second wave happens, we are only killing 2 enemies out of the 4 that drop. That is imperative. I'm going to run to the right here straight away. I know that Jigsaw Killer and a lot of other high level players, fuck me, he's fast, go the other way, but I don't. I'm going to knock that barrel out of the way just because it's janky when it gets in your way. Prime the harpoon. Yeet. I'm going to also just shotgun that guy just to buy myself more time here. Now, many times in this playthrough so far, I've mentioned about crouching. Reload the crossbow there. There, look, see how I'm crouching? It's to give myself a better...
Another moment. Just keep me covered.
Better movement with Seth, you know? That's what I'm doing there. I don't know if everybody does that, you know? I don't know. Oh my god. First AKUMU playthrough in 6 months. Fucking hell. But I'm looking at my stamina here. And it's kind of hard to look at the stamina gauge.
Got it. Let's go.
Woo! That's a bit harder than I remember it being, but like I say, I've not played AKUMU in a while. If you get into a rut where you can't let your stamina get higher, you could well die there, and that was a bit more nerve-wracking than I thought it would be. But I got to tell you guys, that was the easy part. I'm going to put that barrel... Oh, that's a shit place. Oh my days, that was shit. All these guys had to die for this strat to work, so everything is fine. Everything is fine. Now 4 of them are going to drop down.
I'll get the trap. You hold them off. There's twice as many of them.
And we're going to kill
You've got time to complain.
the female haunted and the fat one. Where's the fat one? There he is. For some reason, I do believe if you kill one of these 2 guys, all the rest will spawn, and you are going to be in a world of pain, ladies and gentlemen. Let me frickin' tell you that right now. So from here, we're welcoming these gentlemen to Duke City. I repeat, these chaps are now in Duke City, because we are just kiting them and running around. And there's something I need to tell you, ladies and gentlemen. If you're playing this on PC, and you're playing in 60 FPS plus, even over 60 FPS, because you think it's going to be a smooth experience, this game was never meant to be played at anything above 30 FPS. Well, to be honest with you, I don't think it was meant to be played in anything above 18 FPS. So quite simply, this game, it can do very, very peculiar things in higher frame rates, and those enemies, they're even more aggressive the higher the frame rate is. But I'm just talking about the game at 30 FPS here, the way that it was anticipated to be played. But ladies and gentlemen, there's a mirror to the left, use it if you want, but this is what we do here. You only get 1 chance of that mirror, by the way. Throw the bottle to the edge of that plank, give it a few seconds, They're all going to check it out now. That explosion, whatever the hell that was, that crash, they don't react to that. So don't sprint here. Keep just jogging up. Let's pick that ammo up. Ready your flashball. Boop. Flash these two pricks. If you want to use both axes, feel free. If your flashball lasts long enough to hit both of them with the flash, keep both axes, etc. But I'm not going to. I don't care. I only need one axe. And now these gentlemen are going to see us. And this is such a cool strategy. But basically, we're going to shoot them all off here. They're going to see us one by one, and they are going to die immediately. You see Mr. Molotov in the background? He's not going to hear the bullet here because they're hitting the enemy. If I miss one of these guys and the bullet goes beyond them, he will hear. It's quite interesting. Quite annoying as well. If you do that a little too early or late, it won't work and it won't fall off. But when an enemy is on a ledge on this game, that's what happens, they just fall off. You see it in Chapter 11 as well. But no, this is one of the most intriguing strategies in this game, and I bloody love it. We're going to load these guys all into the exact same place. I'm just going to get this green gel in the meantime. I found this strat from K-Hunk many years ago, and I just find it to be one of the most fascinating strats in the game. I think it's so freaking cool. Might take a few more handgun bullets, but you know what? I don't give a shit. Basically, all these guys are checking out. What's that sound? What's that noise? And look at that. All four of them have just been shat on, ladies and gentlemen. How cool is that strategy? Shoot the guy in the Molotov in the head, and that is what happens. Did I just pick up another syringe? I did. Cool, thanks game. Really useful, that. As you can see there as well, I would advise running through the trap that's there. You can disarm it from this side, but Joseph can get killed by that. It's not there on casual survival. The only reason that trap's there is to get Joseph killed. Fuck you, Shinji, you prick. Just to show you guys a little bit of a tutorial example. There you go. Freeze bolt the bomb. Get 2 trap parts. Fantastic mechanic. So now we can't use that mirror. These guys have got axes as well. And now we can be loud and proud because everyone in this area is now dead. Don't need to worry about them. Got more than enough matches. And just so you know, the room on the right, which is generator is now opened, is a lot more dangerous than the room on the left. The room on the right has 2 fat priests in. Maybe one other enemy, a few RNG boxes which could have some good loot in, but I'm not entirely sure. Tends not to have as good loot as the rooms on the left. Although there is a dynamite guy in there. If you do this after killing the sadist, the dynamite guy will not be there. They always just shoot this guy in the leg because he's running straight at you, and he's incredibly easy to kill, so I just want the resources now. But as you can see, these bombs are not booby-trapped, by the way, so these chests. 2 trap parts, 2 shotgun shells, 2 sniper bullets, 1000 green gel. Don't forget, when all this stuff is done in a minute, there's a key up there. And if you can replicate what I've just done, and Lord knows, trust me, I know it's not easy, ladies and gentlemen, but if you can do that before you start this checkpoint, this part's easy. No, not easy, but easier, because there is a shit ton of enemies now. And there will be less of them when the spawn happens, because it's not an endless spawn, this. I know that, because I do kill everything runs on this game, but there's a lot of enemies here, and the worst thing you can do here is start the checkpoint, from coming up those stairs because it is hell, because the Molotov guy's alive. All these guys are alive. This part is hard, and the best way to do it is to quickly get these down as quick as possible. If you have a look online, I think some of the main guys in the speedrunning community, you know, Amawolf, Jigsaw Killer, I think Tenden from Japan showed it as well. You can get 3 of these down in one. I've never done it, and I'm not going to do it here. Just know that all your bolts, I think, can knock these down. I'm going to just create another flash. I'll be putting a explosive into here. If you're worried about the accuracy of the handgun memeing you, then feel free to use the sniper.
You're shooting from above.
But I've got a level 4 accuracy handgun, and as such, doing that. Explosive bolt into that one. Boom. The enemies are now attacking us, but we're running away from them right now. This one's going to open. Look at that. No memes. No accuracy memes, ladies and gentlemen. Only dreams. That's what I'm saying. Be careful of these bombs. Do not trust that metal grate in there. If you stand there, crouch, you can still be killed. Harpoon bolts can still get through, and they can kill you when they shouldn't be able to. It is absolutely ridiculous. Be careful as you're running up here. These guys can still kill you, and as long as you have above a level 1 flashball, all you need to do here is take an axe into this area, prime the flash, use it, hit it, run away, and I mean run away, 12 feet plus. Explosive bolt, he's dead. I don't know if this has been explained, but for some reason this particular sadist, when he's under the effects of a flashball, he takes more damage. And I don't think that's tied to the frame rate, because obviously we're playing on the console scrub version of the game here, but yeah, if you did that with a level 1 flashball, it wouldn't work. But when he's still under the effects of the flashball, he just dies really quickly. Sadist is fast, but if you freeze bolt him, just make sure that you're hitting him with whatever you've got as quickly as possible. Keep a distance, because as soon as he comes out of that the freeze bolt, he's just going to decapitate you straight away. He's not going to fuck about. He is killing you straight away. This game, it doesn't enjoy iframes, ladies and gentlemen.
The elevator is stopped at the top.
But yeah, you could have indeed flashbolt him a few more times and get a few more stealth kills in on him. The shotgun, it doesn't really tend to knock him back.
This is what the holdup was.
Which is actually pretty rare in this game, because the shotgun does tend to knock normal haunted back, but you can knock him over, the sadist, but I don't know how to do it on a consistent basis. I don't think you can. I just think it's RNG. But when it happens, make sure you're pummeling him, because you've given yourself time to attack him, and that's important during that fight. If you can't kill him as quickly as I did, though.
Do you think Kidman is okay?
I don't like that they used her as bait. Almost like someone's toying with her.
But as we can see, Mr. Joseph Horde has a shot bolt on him. And there's not much to say here, but when they drag him to the guillotine in a second or two, you can use a handgun. If you've got the accuracy up, go for it. The game drops your sniper ammo, but with either an explosive bolt or a shot bolt, do that.
You okay?
Look at the effects. Those enemies die straight away. That is so cool.
I'm fine. No need to worry.
We're going up to the end of Chapter 8, of course, ladies and gentlemen. We're on Chapter 6. I forgot how tough this would be to do. So, as we can see, we've got a plank there. And what some MLGers do is they like to put an explosive bolt here. So when you get attacked during this cutscene, it'll kill the first enemy, and then jobs are good, and right? But I don't like to do that because it might not necessarily work. Explosive bolts don't necessarily kill enemies on this game.
You should have just let them.
Sometimes the dialogue is delayed though, I've noticed that. But on Nightmare AKUMU and only Nightmare AKUMU, you can incorporate a little exploit here. Those enemies seem fast. This is RNG. The speed in which these guys run at you is RNG. I'm going to blast this guy, and because I don't want to, fucking Jesus, be killed by him lashing out like that. Ooh, this is a bit dangerous. I'm a bit too far back here than I'd like to be. I'm a bit nervous. Basically, I'm going to get straight into the meat and gravy of this. This stupidity that you see in here is quite simply because these guys are not... This might not work. If I move a little bit further back, we can be food-bad here. Whoa, what the fuck? Yeah, these guys are meant to attack Joseph. If I attacked one of these guys with one handgun bullet and they're still alive, they would then attack me. Basically, that is how that part works. But it wasn't play tested, so we can exploit it like that.
Joseph, are you all right?
Yeah.
But something important happened though, ladies and gentlemen, just before then. I knocked the first guy back because he will always get past the plank. And then you've got to shoot him, you've got to kill him straight away because you've attacked him. But what else can you do? Because there's too many of them after that. I was in the midst of saying, I'm going to snipe him because I don't want him to get up and attack me. That's probably the most common and consistent way that people get killed on this difficulty. They're going for the match burn, an enemy gets up, takes all the skill out of the game, and swipe attacks them dead immediately because it's one hit kill.
This looks like some kind of a marketplace. It looks deserted, like everywhere else.
And there isn't a guaranteed 100% way around that, but the sniper from a distance is a damn good way of stopping it. The good old 1-2. Shotgun from a distance, snipe them, dead. And I think that works with normal Haunted when everything's at level 1. You know, you killed one enemy with 2 bullets. That's pretty damn good, right? So you can be damn well assured that should you upgrade the weapons, then of course they're going to be dead within 1 shot each. Just a great strategy. I've played this game a lot, so I'm used to knowing most of the time the distance I need to be at when I hover over a body to do the match burn. And you remember many times in this playthrough so far, I've mentioned to crouch when you're doing an animation. Match burning is one of them. It just, I might be wrong, but it feels like it's quicker and better to do. So when I'm hovering over a body, I'm not going to do it while standing. Did I get the key from here? No. So I think we've got all the loot here. There's a heck of a lot. Joseph tends to glitch out. He's walking against that wall. Yeah, I think I explained everything pretty damn well there. It's time for Nguyen and Zen and the doc. Nguyen and Zen, they're absolute pieces of shit. Easy as anything. Although if you had to take them on one by one, they'd be a bit harder, but you should be fine. And the strategy that we're going to incorporate, anyone can do it, so it's absolutely fantastic.
More like when? This architecture seems straight out of the Middle Ages.
Yeah, but there's electricity. Elevators. This place can't be real.
It's like jumbled up memories.
The dogfight, however, slightly after it, is probably one of the most nerve-wracking parts of the game for me. And there is a way that you can... It's pretty incredible, this one. You can skip the cutscene before the dogfight in a certain place, shoot an explosive bolt on Joseph's leg, it blows up and knocks the dog... I've got 2 bloody syringes, what an idiot. It hits the dog, and then you go into the fight with the dog falling over.
It's all symbols.
Which then allows you to hit him with explosive bolts quicker. So the question is, ladies and gentlemen,
Climb up here and see if I can get a look
why am I not going to do that strat? One, because I think it's harder for first-time players, and that's what this guide is more catered to, but also because I've never done it before.
Find cover. They're shooting.
So I have a way of doing it. It's pretty consistent, but this fight is one of the hardest in the game with the dog, and it took me about 3 hours on my first AKUMU playthrough. I love the dog's AI. I think it's really unique how it hides in the bushes and comes out. But obviously on the hardest difficulty, it can be bullshit. Anyway, as you just saw there, hide behind that tombstone. Joseph will give you cover and kill that guy. There's 2 enemies on either side here, hiding. They are alive. Burn them with the matches. Now, there's this. We've got a lot of ammo in our shotgun. There's a lot of shotgun ammo coming up. That guy's just flown off to Africa, so screw him. If you want the resources, you can choose to kill them, but I don't need them, so I'm moving on.
Sebastian, that should lead you out here past the church. Keep going. I'll cover you.
Yeah, I've got 3 shotgun shells here. 4 there. Seems like he's going to be a boss. I think that's one of my favourite parts about this game. First playthrough, when you play it like I just played Callisto Protocol, in that game you can tell when a boss is coming because the game stocks you up on ammo hugely before the fight begins. This game doesn't do that. It does not do that. Right, so how many grenades we got? Basically here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to base this on the amount of grenades I've got. I've got a lot, so... Woo! 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 So let's say that you don't have the grenades that I had there. Then I would hope and assume you've got quite a lot of explosive bolts. Don't forget that you can get killed by your own explosive bolts on this difficulty, which is one of the reasons why the dogfight makes me nervous coming up. But yeah, I used a shot bolt, which you don't necessarily have to. It's a contingency plan. You can use the flash bolt there, sorry, the freeze bolt there, exactly the same. The flash bolt doesn't actually work against these guys because I think one of them's blind. But, ooh, 2 bullets left behind. Feels bad, man. But yeah, the freeze bolt or the shot keeps them in place and then pepper them with explosive bolts and grenades. If you've not got either there, can't lie, that fight becomes a heck of a lot harder.
Wait, there was something about a horse in that house back there. Let me see what I wrote.
Something that I do want to just mention, ladies and gentlemen, is first playthrough, normal difficulty, whatever difficulty you're playing on, Nightmare AKUMU. If you want to, I can't tell you otherwise. And I understand how secure people feel with the level 5 harpoon. But I would pretty much argue against it. The level 5 harpoon on this game is overrated, and it's a pretty cool upgrade, don't get me wrong, but I kind of get annoyed when I see first time players see it and go, fire damage? Oh wow, that's so cool. And it is, when you think about it. What could be better than one shot killing an enemy immediately? But if you use matches properly, then who really cares, right? Don't think I need... Oh, how many explosives do I have? Yeah, we're maxed out. Okay. So yeah, level 5 harpoons, pretty cool. If you're worried about Laura, yeah, use them, because when she gets damaged by the fire, she go into like a 10-second animation of being damaged by it where she won't attack you. That's pretty damn cool, don't get me wrong. Anyway, recently, ladies and gentlemen, we got our hands on a sniper rifle. I am indeed going to improve that. And because I'm going to be using the crossbow for the dogfight, and because you guys will as well, feel free at this point, maybe a good time to improve the crossbow. But I don't know what the crit of the sniper rifle does in this game. I honestly don't know. It always crits everything. I don't know if it's just for the alter ego enemies. I've never been quite sure. Get the fire rate of this up to 3. Pepper some shots off. And also, ladies and gentlemen, it's just at this point right here that I want to introduce you guys to what it says. 2.5, 3,000. Yeah, what it says about the explosive bolt. So as you can see, explosive charge can increase damage. Affects enemies in a 3-meter radius. But damage decreases the further away from the explosion. So the way that I see this is, at level 1, you don't shoot an enemy with the bolt. And even in this little Dishonored-esque picture here, this totally reminds me of Dishonored, all these. You can see there in the picture, he's not shot the enemy directly with the explosive bolt. It's not meant to be used like that. But first-time players will always do that. With a dog coming up, you don't want to actually shoot the dog with the explosive bolt. Though it's easier said than done because it's a chaotic fight, which can end within a split second and then you're dead on this difficulty. But when it says it decreases the further away, so by level 5, that is how you use the explosive bolt. You put it on an enemy. Like I say, one of the rare things that I prefer about the second game are the explosive bolts, because you can actually make it do a tripwire as well, and they just work better in this game. The explosive bolts will sometimes glitch, they won't work straight away, and they're a bit annoying.
You don't need to worry about me.
Right, so we're up to 2 hours 17 minutes now. This has taken a little longer than I thought to get to the end of chapter 8. Should be probably done around about 3 hours, and that'll be half of this walkthrough done. Maxed out on harpoons, so I can't collect the harpoons in here.
Doesn't mean anything to me, should it?
Hold on a second. I jumped. It seems the sacrifices need to be lowered onto the proper altars, and the safe way to him will be open.
Get a key there. This supposed puzzle, quite simply, just do everything I've done in that order, and that's that.
I heard something.
So, I hope I can do this in the first attempt, because the thing is with a dogfight here, if you fail this on your first attempt, when you spawn in for the second attempt and the subsequent attempts, but believe me, you're going to be attempting this quite a lot, aren't you, Seb? The dog doesn't spawn the same way. He doesn't run away from the camera or into the camera and past you. He runs to the side, and it will dictate how you have to do the fight. It's a little bit harder. So dying once to this is a real problem. And I will be attempting, quite simply, to juggle him with explosive bolts. You know 100% when he's dead because he lets out this this yelp. And if I run out of explosive bolts, well, I won't because I can craft more, but if you're using a gun against the dog here, you're leaving it up to RNG whether he can attack you. We're also going to put down immediately a shot bolt, which is in order to stop him attacking us. Then we'll get our distance, we'll hope not to get hit by the splashback or the explosive bolt, and we'll juggle him. We've got 2 grenades, can use them from a safe distance, but if you're using the gun, you're really hoping that it's the last HP that he has before he dies, otherwise he's gonna kill you. But this dog's weird because sometimes you can be right next to him and he's absolutely harmless and not attacking you, and then other times he's running into you straight away and he wants you gone. So this fight it's a nerve-wracking one to be sure. And the thing is as well, you've got to go in for Joseph's classes, and I don't thoroughly know how that works. So be ready here to be running forward but slightly to the right. Watch. There, like that. Run past him. Okay, there's a... See that rock there? I'm going to put the shock bolt there. I'm going to ready the explosive. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, Jesus. Fucking hell. Oh, okay. You know what? Where is he? You can see the shot bolt there. I had absolutely no inkling or idea that he was dead, and thus I felt like I had to use that shot bolt. And if you've been dying to that boss for 3 freaking hours, trust me, you're gonna be the same. But we did, I think, there's a bird trap down here which has disappeared now. This guy can hit me at any time, but he's running away. Joseph is not... Right, okay. Yeah, whatever. Ugh, I hate that, it makes me anxious. Ugh. Okay, we've done it without dying. I'm happy.
I'm sorry. It's not just about being unable to see. It's about...
I've watched people play this game a lot,
all right.
and
Let's focus on finding Kidman.
I still don't know if there's a way during that second phase, fuck you, to do it, because sometimes in the second phase though, he'll barge into you, it's game over straight away. What can you do? You just got served a shit sandwich, son.
Pair of glasses.
Whew. Oh, I'm just going to stretch my legs here. Stay hydrated as well, kids. Stretch your legs, stay in school, and don't do drugs, etc, etc. But sometimes the dog will not run towards Joseph there, and when you pick the glasses up, he is right next to you. And it doesn't seem to be dictated by how quickly you get in to get the glasses. It just seems like RNG, which isn't what you want to hear if you're going for a deathless run, but welcome to this game. That's just the way it is. But I might be wrong though, and I don't necessarily know if that's correct information. But the first part of the fight, that worked pretty well. During it, you might have noticed that I got a little bit worried and a little bit scared. One, because there was a particular shot that I used where it nearly hit him on the leg. If he does that, or if it hits him on the body, anywhere, he can shake it off, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. he can do a Taylor Swift. It is unbelievable. He'll shake the explosive bolt, he'll fly up in the air, and it'll explode in the air, and it does him no damage. It's so cool. Like, it's annoying, but I kind of love it at the same time. I think it's such a cool mechanic.
I'd better start searching for my partners.
But we should, hypothetically, be on easy street now. Chapters 7 and 8. Two of the shorter chapters in the game, especially chapter 8. That's where this first video, part 1, will end. Because I feel like that's the proper halfway point of this game. And yeah, we shouldn't be dying. We should be getting to chapter 9 with just 1 death, and that's good. But I'm not naive enough to think that if anybody's like come across this video on YouTube and think, oh, I'm going to use this guy. This guy has obviously played this game many times. I'm going to get to chapter 7 with only 1 death on my first AKUMU playthrough. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that. There's no perfect guide for this game, because that's just the way the game's gameplay works. It's tough. It's a tough game. I bloody love it, but it ain't easy. What I will say is get to the lithograph here, and that guy will be stuck in place. Be ready though, because as soon as you come out of this cutscene, he is going to attack you, and he's not happy. I tell you now, this guy's not happy. I have been killed by him a couple of times, so that's a risk. In the meantime, I'm going to get this key. None of these guys have a melee weapon, so they're all running against the wall, or that big candle that was there. There are 2 places, ladies and gentlemen, this chapter where you can soft lock. Is it hard lock? Basically, you can get screwed over and it's not your fault. It happens either on those stairs or during a little secret loot place there. And it tends to happen more when those enemies that we just fought get into this area. But it can sometimes just happen. If it happens, there's 2 ways out of it. You either kill yourself or reload the checkpoint. I won't allow it to happen here. Well, it might happen, but I'm going to save the game first. I'm not accepting a death that isn't my fault, so screw that. But ladies and gentlemen, a really, really cool exploit was found about, I'd like to say, a year or so ago with these cranks. These are a little bit annoying, and there's a bit too many of them across the whole game, especially now, Chapter 8, Chapter 9, Chapter 10. Not so much Chapter 9. Well, actually, yeah, Chapter 9 as well. And you can basically ensure that you don't need to use them properly. So if you leave your reload at level 1, shoot your gun, hit the reload button as soon as you turn the wheel, and it will be almost instantaneous, which is really cool. That exploit was only found about a year or so ago. I'm not a speedrunner, so I won't be using it, but it's cool, and it might help you in a few situations where you're strapped for time and you want to avoid enemies and whatnot. But as you just saw, that trap there, you could shoot the guy who's on the trap in the head whilst the other guy's going past, and that'll kill both of them. But that's what I do. I use the stomp. When an enemy's on the floor in this game, use the crouch button again. Remember when I told you the crouch is freaking amazing in this game for other things other than just staying undetected. Crouch and then press Y or triangle on the PlayStation. You will stomp. You will kill him straight away. Sometimes the other guy will have just gotten into the trap and killed himself. If he doesn't, you can use a match to burn him using the corpse on the floor, or you can just use a harpoon bolt like I used. Once the trap has come out once, it will not come out again. Nothing much to say here. This is nerve-wracking on your first playthrough though, all this poison gas, but take the axe with you. Stay to the right here. Hit that guy straight away. It's been a long time since I messed that up. You take any more time though and he will kill you. You've been kind enough to drop us some green gel. One of the things that I love about survival horror is that in certain games there's a balance between how many enemies you kill and how many enemies you run past like that. Those guys right there are not programmed to attack you as you run past. They don't understand whilst you're there, or why you're there I should say. Now they do, now they're after me, now they can kill me. But just run past them, don't waste the resources. Get the green gel and move on. So yeah, if there's a survival horror without any gunplay or actual gameplay, or you've got to kill all the enemies, it can become a bit monotonous one way or the other, but this game has got a nice balance. As you can see again here, we're past these guys on the floor. I've never been killed by them doing this, so can't say it definitely won't happen, but there we have it again. Crouch over them, use the stomp, dead immediately. I'm dropping a lot of facts right now, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm happy. But the stomp does 4 times more damage, I do believe, than the melee. I think that's right. Which begs the question, what about if you maxed out the melee? I don't know if that's true. All I know is it's pretty cool that you can stomp on them like that. There was a guy on the Reddit, and I nearly posted a response, but I just thought, let's not do it. He completed the game and he said, does anybody else think this game would be a masterpiece if it wasn't for the jank? And then he proceeded to say all these ways that he thought the game was jank. And in every single way, thing that he spoke of, he was incorrect. And he included the fact that on this game, if there's an enemy, a corpse on the floor, let's say where this green gel is, and you want to open up one of these pots, if you just melee with Y or triangle, instead of doing that, Seb will stomp on the body, and it's annoying. And you'll see first-time players do it all the time. However, if you hold aim and then stomp, or triangle or square, Y I should say, then he will never do that. He will always melee properly. Now the game doesn't showcase that to you as a tutorial, and it probably should, but in the menus of the game when you die, and let's admit it, on your first playthrough this game, you're going to be seeing that quite a bit. The game actually tells you that. You know what to do here. The alter egos in this game are so sick. Obviously, just having completed it twice within the last week and the first week of the game's release, I have been talking about Callisto Protocol a lot, and there's an enemy called the Two-Head in that game, and a Spitter enemy which also has like 2 heads. I think they're ripped off from the alter egos in this game, but those enemies, they split apart when you get halfway through the fight, but other than that, there's no reason for them to have 2 heads. In this game, there is, because as you can see, we're doing this stomp attack a heck of a lot now. Press the B button or circle on the PlayStation to get out of the animation of opening cranks, ladies and gentlemen, like that, or turning them. Crouch when you throw. Watch this, I'll show you. I don't think there is actually another bottle in this room, but whatever. Oh, that last guy is going to fuck the strat up. Piece of shit. Never known that to happen. But as you can see, yet again, remember what I said before, harpoon to the midriff, and they are harmless for a good couple of seconds. better than using the shotgun to knock them over. Although, to be honest with you, alter egos are a bit harder to knock on the floor than normal haunted. But yeah, the alter egos, the reason they've got 2 heads is because you've got to crit both of them. And when you upgrade the handgun in this game, I don't know if that counts for the alter egos. I should know, but if I do a kill everything run, I tend to kill alter egos with either the shotgun or the harpoon. Look at this loot room here though. This is absolutely phenomenal game design. It really is. A key and about 3,000 green gel off to the side. Some bombs to make it dangerous, but you can also get that as resources. Nightmare AKUMU as well. There's an alter ego up here waiting for you. We're just going to juke this guy. Welcome to Juke City, my friend. And finally, we're ready to crank this shit. Now, with modern day accessibility options, which we've become used to in the last 5 years or so, you wouldn't have to tap that button monotonously. You'd just be able to hold it down, wouldn't you? I tell you something that I'm starting to really enjoy with these kinds of games. The high contrast mode. When I completed Callisto, one of the worst things about that game was the final boss. It was an aberration. And I completed it on normal, and it was freaking hard. It took me 2 hours. Actually making waves online. It's pretty infamous with how bad it is. My god, it's bad. But part of the reason that fight is so hard is because you can't see jack shit. I turned high contrast mode on. It shows yourself as green, any resources as blue, and any enemies in red. It made it so much easier, and I'm thinking it shouldn't be harder because you can't see anything.
I see.
But there's so much detail in a lot of these new games. They're so graphically detailed. Now, this is true first world problems, ladies and gentlemen, but it does bear saying and bear repeating. But the high contrast modes are actually useful. It's crazy. I never used it for The Last of Us 2. I said one of these days I'm going to play Last of Us 2 with mirror mode. So it mirrors the game world. It's pretty sick. My god, I tell you, if that game had a good story, it'd be a masterpiece. Well, it doesn't have a good story, let's admit it, guys. It is not a good story. Not just because Joel dies, spoilers. But yeah, it's... the narrative is nowhere near on the same level as the first game. Don't even at me. Game world and gameplay? Absolutely love it. Story, narrative and pacing? Nah. That being said, when I get my PS5, I'm going to be replaying that motherfucker in 60 FPS. As well as Days Gone, which was a solid game, but just a couple of weeks ago, ladies and gentlemen, the director of Days Gone, well, he went scorched earth on a motherfucker. He basically came out and said, people didn't like my game because it's got a straight white man as the protagonist. A straight white hetero man, and it's like, oh my lord, dude, what are you saying? I did see that said quite a bit about Days Gone, but honestly, my man, I don't think that's the reason people didn't like the game. I mean, it was a good game and it got shit on at launch. A bit like Callisto, a bit like this. Seeing a pattern forming here, ladies and gentlemen. Remove all the bolts. But yeah, Days Gone would have been better if it was more linear. But I think it was a really, really fun game with a lot of things to enjoy. I really enjoyed it personally. Also enjoyed Ghost of Tsushima. Played it this year for the first time, so I can enjoy open world games. But ladies and gentlemen, all the bolts, if you want my honest opinion, if you're not going to follow my strats, like for like, then definitely get the flash up to 3. The harpoon, except for bosses, there's no point in upgrading the power for normal enemies, because you're going to be like burning them after you hit them with the harpoon probably, unless you're looking to kill them straight away. Freeze ball on AKUMU is dangerous because it can kill you, so be careful. I will ensure that doesn't happen, it shouldn't. But level 3 freeze bolt should stop enemies escaping the blast. Level 3 shot bolt is brilliant. Level 4, even better, but certain strategies can actually get me, with the strategies that I use, killed if I use a level 4 shot bolt. That's the way that this game's mechanics work. And then explosive bolt. Everything on level 3, brilliant. Let's reload these freaking guns. Ooh, my shotgun is still only holding 5 bullets, but I'm going to make the save there. And you remember before when I mentioned that there's a soft lock in the game? That's why I've saved the game. Come back here. Also, remember what I said before about the axes? Leave them outside the safe room. Come back into the game world, and the axe is still there. If you take an axe into the hospital with you, it will disappear. It's obviously an oversight on behalf of the devs for whatever reason. And we have got, ladies and gentlemen, ourselves a little soft lock. Seb's dancing, but I am not too happy. The chances of it happening, I'd say, are about 25% in my experience of this game. I'd say 25% chance of it happening. But once it happens once, it shouldn't happen again. If you didn't save the game there, then the last auto-save is where it happened. But have you noticed something? Because I reloaded the checkpoint, the axe has gone. How crazy is that? The axe has gone. Should be there and it's not. Shinji. Making me sneeze as well. It's a freaking outrage, man. Can I get the axe from here? Is it still here? No, it's just disappeared. Well, I think you'll agree, ladies and gentlemen. Feels pretty freaking bad, man.
Just one more.
Just one more. So we've had quite a lot of survival horror talk during this walkthrough, and I hope someone out there is enjoying it. If this video gets views, hopefully you enjoy the babbling commentary. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, we are now living in a world where the Silent Hill franchise is back. Damn. And I, for one, I'm not excited one bit because of Konami. Now, you can get salty, but you all know I'm right. I don't want to be right. You just know that I am right. So we've got a Crash Bandicoot part coming up here. This part you do not necessarily need to, even though I am doing. You don't need to sprint. I repeat, you do not need to sprint. If you go a little slower, the game will drop them down slower. However, if you just stop completely, that is when the game's going to kill you. Now, with no axe here, because I'd use an axe against one of the 3 keepers we have to kill. So instead, we're going to throw a grenade at the keeper's feet. And I absolutely love watching people fight the keeper for the first time, because they think that he's going to be really tanky, and he's not. And that, yet again, amongst the myriad of things that this game does right, is something else. It doesn't make all the enemies tanky. Sure, some bosses are a bit tanky, of course they are, but you can kill the keeper with very few resources. But of course, he comes back. And the question, ladies and gentlemen, in this area, how many freaking times does he come back? Well, I'll tell you. 35, I think. And I should know, because I've killed them all many times on Kill 'Em All runs. Sick enemy, obviously, yeah, okay, he's inspired by Silent Hill Pyramid Head, but unlike Silent Hill, this game's gameplay is actually phenomenal, so there we go. Most brutal death animation in the game when you get caught in one of those traps. Absolutely savage, man. Speaking of savage, check this shit out. Check this out.
This thing's stayed.
Now, I am using OBS to record my gameplay footage because the Elgato capture device doesn't work any longer. I wish I was joking, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm not. It doesn't work on Windows 10 systems, a lot of them anymore. Somehow, nothing is being said about this, but it's an absolute outrage, to be sure. And I swear down, now obviously this game's frame rate is well, it's more than a little choppy at times. Oh shit, I forgot the strategy I did here. So a long time since I did this part like this, but let me just concentrate here. If you haven't got an axe, that's a good strategy to use. Freeze bolt this guy, put this in, and then listen for him falling out. THAW. He's fallen out. Woo! Pretty quick. Don't forget, B button, circle button. Those particular valves, they will remember the amount of progress you've made. So if you come out of it, and you've made nearly all the progress you need to, it will remember the progress. Which is really cool. Oh man, I was talking, oh god, fucking hell. I was talking about OBS. Now, I noticed this when I played on did my Dead Space Impossible difficulty long play. There are split second micro stutters.
Take this.
Yeah, I noticed it there. And I don't know why it's happening. My CPU is at 1%. My GPU might be somewhat higher. I bet it is. I don't know, like 30, 40% maybe, towards 50. But quite simply, my computer system, I'm streaming on the Elgato from a console. I know it can handle what I'm asking it to do right now. But somewhere, somehow, on the OBS software, it's causing these stutters, and it's not nice to see. It's not all the time, and I honestly think some people won't even recognise it. But I am, and it freaking pisses me off, and I'm getting annoyed by it, and I don't know why it's happening. I've had this Elgato HD 60S now for just over 5 years, and I'm thinking to myself, well, my ISP just improved my upload speed by double, and I've got a Series X which is capable of 4K. Although I do play on a TV and not a monitor, although I am hoping to change that. So I do believe, and I can't remember the name of it, but there's one more new Elgato, and I'm thinking of getting that. Because my first ever Elgato I used for 2.5 years, and then it stopped recording 60 FPS. I remember it wouldn't run 60 FPS properly. Shoot this guy in the head. This is the easiest way of doing this. Shoot that bottom part like that. And if you want to avoid being killed here, just sprint through them all, crouch under, and they can't get you. Best way to kill the alter egos. Oh my god, that's weird. I mentioned before the shotgun sniper combo, absolutely devastating. Just be careful not to miss the shot. Sometimes, alter egos, if you've got a level 4 harpoon, they can be one-shotted with a harpoon. But yeah, harpoon to the midriff, shotgun, sniper, 1-2 combo. That's how you get rid of alter egos. Fuck using the handgun, it's not worth it. But yeah, I've had this Elgato now for just over 5 years, and with modern technology, I try to make things last 5 years. And if they do last that amount of time, then I'm pretty damn satisfied in all honesty. I think my original Elgato, I've still got it just in case I wanted to play something at 30 FPS. I mean, this game's 30 FPS, but I think I might throw it away, which is a shame because I'm sure someone somewhere wants to use an old Elgato, even though it's like 8 years old now, but who the hell am I going to give it to? Send me a postcode, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Sometime next year I'm going to get a new Elgato. But will it solve this OBS issue? I'm not sure, because I think that is OBS being a piece of shit. If you guys have got any advice on how to stop it, then please feel free, because there's a lot of technicalities in the OBS settings that I don't understand. Turn that once, press the B button or circle button, come out, ready a flash, and it won't work! It won't work! Okay, so that's how you get rid of those guys. I've known that sometimes to kill most of them, then it didn't kill any of them. I can assure you right now that's very, very rare. That doesn't tend to happen. You know what speedrunners do here? It's absolutely insane. They put an incendiary bolt there, so as they fall down, they all get burnt. Incendiary bolts cost 5 trap parts, and that's how they use the trap parts to just stop those guys coming down. Because even though they're such a piece of shit enemy, it's not just like being killed. Even on a casual speedrun, casual difficulty, they're going to slow you down. Because if you don't open that gate quickly, you're in trouble. Key behind there. Flashball. They're all dead. I can tell with the way they all exploded. Oh, rats in the air, you see him? There's a level 3 flashball. They're all falling down. This is very heavy on the usage of ammunition here, ladies and gentlemen. But it doesn't matter, because this part here, this corner, it is quite trollish, because this first alter ego isn't necessarily right in front of you. Sometimes he's at the back. This guy can easily grab your ankles, and the mini alter egos that are falling down, they cannot kill you when they're falling down. They can fall on you and they'll just explode and it won't hurt you. It's only when they're on the floor where they're dangerous. But they were already on the floor quickly then, because the alter ego was at the front and I'd already engaged in an attack and I was close enough, and then the game thought, right, let's drop them in. So if you watch someone speedrun that part, they can really come a cropper. They can be killed there very easily. So yeah, quite heavy on the usage of the bolts there, but you just saw freeze bolt, boom, done straight away. If you didn't want to use a freeze bolt, harpoon him in the midriff. What about if you harpoon him in the midriff and then he's still alive? Follow it up with a sniper, he'll be dead then. Said it before, I'll say it again. This game's combat is one of the most satisfying combat loops in game history. Easily. But ladies and gentlemen, we are very close now to the end of video 1. 2 hours 54. The exact same amount of time. You could not believe this. You could make it up. The exact same amount of time as my Dead Space 1 chapters 1 to 6 video. But in video number 2, Part 2 of the long play, chapters 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Shit's gonna get interesting because we've got the RNG madness that is the Victoriano Mansion. We've got the best chapter in the game, chapter 10. We've got chapter 11, which is where most first-time players get very fatigued with the game. I still like chapter 11, but not on no upgrade key runs. Then you've got the worst chapter in the game, chapter 12, is a piece of shit. And then 13, 14, which are also great. But people don't enjoy 13 and 14 because they didn't enjoy 12. Whew, thank God that door stopped him. But yeah, chapter 13 is obviously the Silent Hill 2 inspired chapter. And then 14 in the subways. Absolutely love that. So we'll see how the in-game timer is here. 2:55 is how long I've been recording. 5 minutes is how long it took me to get into the game. 1 death, a bit of downtime, 2:46. Yeah. So 3, 4. Yeah. I think chapters 9 to 15 will be slightly less amount of time than this video. See what games people are playing. And yeah, thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. You've all been AKUMU difficulty, chapters 1 to 8. See you for the next video, chapters 9 to 15. You got any questions about this masterpiece? You got any ways you want me to try and help you? Put the comments down in the drop menu. I'll try and help best I can. Sorry about me spluttering in my words a little bit. It happens. My brain's going very fast because I'm excited because I love this game so much. But also, try and talk and commentate for 3 hours. You might find that it's not that easy. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.